Hello, everybody. Welcome to Underthetea 36. Oh my goodness, it feels like just yesterday that we hit episode 30, where we were talking about Kenji. And now we're at episode 36. How are you both doing today?
Has it really been 6 weeks since then?
Yes, it has. Yes,
what the fuck?
It has.
I'm not ready to pay my rent again in a couple days. What the fuck?
Same, I'm not ready at all. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening tonight here. I'm gonna switch away from the high energy music and go down to something a little more chill. I hope you guys have had a fantastic past couple of days. As far as I know, these two have also had a nice couple of days. I know Mizu is perpetually tired, and I think Lumi is also tired.
It's been busy at work because of the short week with the long weekend. And a bunch of back orders came in, and just...
Yeah. Here, you keep talking, I'm adjusting, making sure that everything looks good.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
But, besides the never-ending sleepy, I am annoyed about nepo babies again. Because, okay, while Akko is adjusting stuff, you guys get to hear about my passion for musical theater and how much I hate nepotism. Okay. So... for those of you who know about Kanye and Kim's child, who is named after the cardinal direction northwest, they paid this director or producer or whatever to play Simba for the 30th anniversary of the Lion King musical for Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And these tickets, mind you, the cheap price for those tickets are $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
$2,000 fucking dollars.
That's a lot of money.
And this child here, it's like, yeah, sure, she's only 10. But there are very, very talented children who do musical theater at the age of 10 who do better than most adults. This child cannot sing to save her life. She sounded like at first when I seen the video of these clips, I thought it was like, you know, a school musical.
Mm-hmm.
Something that, like, you know, whatever rich ass private school this child goes to.
Mm-hmm.
Then I looked at the comments. And then I seen stories of other parents who their children went through the audition process. And while they were sitting there waiting for, like, you know, their last round of auditions, in comes Kim in Northwest, and then they were dismissed, saying, "Okay, yeah, she's gonna play Simba." It's like, okay, later, you guys, like, after the podcast, look up on YouTube or TikTok your favorite communist spy app. Look up Northwest Lion King and listen to the clips. It is so bad. And it is so fucking bad.
I think we should point out, I don't think Lumi's trying to bully this poor kid. I think some kids can be very talented at a young age. Some just need to grow up normally. And it sounds like this one probably needs to grow up normally.
She needs to be told no.
Does she at least get stampeded? Oh, that's me. Did she?
It's like, I know I'm probably the only one who cares about musical theater here.
I kind of like it.
But the costumes are like the keynote thing of that entire show because they are fucking gorgeous. It is beautifully done. And Northwest comes walking in a Yeezy outfit. It's like, hold on. King musical costumes.
By the way, chat, while Lumi's looking, let me know if the music is too loud or not loud enough. I'm always
it's too loud. I'm kidding.
You don't get to say that, because I know you're not listening.
It's
well,
like...
I mean, I'm technically listening.
Well, fair, but not in the same way. Really quickly, chat, don't forget to like the stream, and if you haven't subscribed to podcast channel, we appreciate everybody being here. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble while she puts up whatever. But it's like, you know, suspension of disbelief in everything. But it's like, this is some of the costumes and stuff that they do for the Lion King musical. It's like, the makeup is lovely and everything. And then this is what this child was wearing instead. No stage makeup, no nothing. It's just a set of pajamas.
Do you want me to show these on screen?
If you would like to.
Okay, hold on a moment, chat. I'll elucidate you on what people are wearing here, so you continue talking.
And it's like, okay, it's just so bad.
Okay, chat. So these are very professional, very nicely done costumes, by the way. Well, when you're doing Broadway, I expect these things to be very premium. The actors look very involved, very nicely done. I like all of this. All right, here's another good shot of. It's a little pixelated, but there's another decent shot of this. All right, and then I can't. Can I zoom in? I can zoom in. This is her costume. I almost don't believe this.
Pajamas.
I can't even. I feel like you're lying to me, Lomi.
I'm not lying to you. I wish I was.
Oh my god.
I wish I was lying to you. I wish I could say, yeah, no, this is just a bit.
It's almost disrespectful because again, these look very pretty, very good. I'm curious how accurate they are to African dress. My bet is it probably would have some historical accuracies. And then you just got
Well, they're not
PJs.
supposed to be African dress. They're supposed to be animals.
Well, I know, but like, are they? My question is, what are they based on? Because it looks like they have some loose basis to that. And chat can correct me if I'm wrong. But this looks very well done, probably researched. And then you got PJs. School play
it's
core.
like I get. It's like I get. You need to have suspension of disbelief in everything with musicals because you know there's no animation to go over it. But there's a difference between the professional great costumes that they do like while they're touring, and then a Yeezy outfit.
Yeah, these are very nice. Probably very expensive to do as well because I bet you a good portion of these are handmade. And then well, these were handmade at some point as well in China, but it's very less quality. Oh god, I can't believe that. So they just waltzed in and said, "This is what we're doing," and they're like, "Okay."
And it's like after. What makes it even worse is, from what I heard, is that the people who were like, you know, funding this were the exact same people who also fund Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So it's like, this is why Cats is my favorite musical. I can go on for hours about Cats the musical. It is my favorite fucking musical in the entire world. It was the musical that I grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
I have the special edition, a double VHS box set of that musical.
Chat,
I have the majority of...
Chat, I promise you
Shut
that...
the fuck up. I am going to come to your home and execute you on the spot.
Oh, in Minecraft.
Anyways.
In Minecraft.
I'm down for it.
In theater, on Broadway.
Theater. In musical, it's going to be a play, YouTube. It's going to be a play. I'm trying to think of a play that we could reference.
It'll be like Of Mice and Men.
There we go.
Look
It'll be a Mice and Men. And Mizu
Look
will...
out at the bunnies.
Anyway, that's pretty great. Wow.
I will be yapping more about musical theater tomorrow on stream because I'm sure these two would rather zone out rather than me yapping about musical theater for probably the entire podcast.
I mean, it depends.
Oh, it's okay. I'm zoning out already.
It depends on the context. Maybe we could talk about it. I don't know. I didn't do theater as a kid, but I had siblings who did.
The only theater I've ever watched is Avenue Q.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
You know what? Fair. Oh yeah, it's also speaking of musical theater since we're on the topic of it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the very, 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 very bad trailer for Wicked?
No, I did not.
I try to pretend
so
Disney
bad.
doesn't exist.
It's so fucking bad. It's like I went to go see Wicked live. It's like, because I was a choir kid, we got to go on nice field trips that the other students get to go on because we have talent and all that.
Uh-huh.
And I went, each year that I got to go, I went to go see Wicked, Mary Poppins, and Billy Elliot.
Mm-hmm. Wicked
was so much fun. I got my playbook signed by the entire cast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's a beautiful musical. I highly recommend, and also read the book. The book is also very good.
I always thought that Wicked was a great story.
I refuse. I don't know how to read.
I mean, I already knew that.
Damn.
You know what? Maybe that's why people say that you get information wrong. You just can't read it.
There we go. It'll be used against you in the Mizu cancel documentary that will come out one day. You'll get when you get your 69 felony charges.
Oh god, I hate the people that get like Mizu gets all this stuff wrong. I sat down and I read like 120 pages of their bullshit.
Oh my gosh. There was a comment.
You read all of it, but you got this one date wrong. Shut up.
I hate it when people nitpick about that. Like, the reason why people do that, see, they don't do it because they actually are good faith. They do it because they feel like pointing out one inaccuracy is enough to disprove your entire argument. Which it's not. It's not. Because, like, if that were the case, everybody should get an F in school if they get something wrong on their papers. Because I guarantee you, nobody's paper is fucking perfect.
Oh, everybody
Yeah.
should get an F in school. Maybe it'd encourage kids to actually like learn some shit.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of getting F's in school, No Child Left Behind was a mistake. Children should start getting left behind.
Oh, damn. Damn.
I mean, it was.
It was a
It doesn't make
mistake.
any sense. It generally is just a bad idea to pass a kid on to the next grade when they don't understand what's in their current grade.
Oh, I'm not in
I mean,
disagreement.
They're
like,
not gonna
okay,
understand what's in the next grade either.
Did you see that they are lowering the requirements for medical school?
I did.
Yeah.
And people ask why I don't trust
For
doctors.
certain demographics, Asians still get screwed over.
Chad, I don't
Like,
believe in the doctors, and now I have even less reason to go to a doctor.
So theater kids become Vtubers, basically women who have mental issues and theater kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway.
No Child Left Behind is the reason our nation's getting fucked. Exactly.
Exactly.
It's like I get why No Child Left Behind was a thing, because it especially benefited like the special ed programs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But if a kid is just that stupid, hold them back.
No, I
It's
agree.
like there was a kid that I went to kindergarten with. He got held back because he was that stupid.
Some kids are just dumb.
Yeah. Some are just exceptional. That's what we call it, chat. That is heavily exceptional. Exceptional
No, they're
individuals.
stupid.
My cousin didn't know how to read and still got past 5th grade. Oh my fucking.
Yeah, see, so chat, I was homeschooled, and I believe that unironically being homeschooled prepared me better for life than if I went to a special ed school, because I was an exceptional individual. Because when I was in Sunday school, by the time I made it to Sunday school when I was 12, I could read the Bible in full verses out loud to my family. And when I was in Sunday school, like when I was a teenager, I saw a lot of teenagers struggle to read the Bible, and I was like, I didn't know this was such a problem.
You're the smartest kid on the short bus.
I guess. I don't know.
I learned to read so I could play word-heavy video games. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, funny enough, when I was in like 3rd grade and all that,
Uh-huh.
the fucking Jimmy Neutron video game helped me discover new big words.
That's good.
And the
Oh,
Jimmy Neutron
gosh.
video game is good as hell. I want to find it, see if I can replay it.
I could probably find that for you if you really want.
Mm-hmm.
Through
think-
probably
I think-
legal means.
I think I still have the disc though at my granny's house.
Akko's life skill issue. Yes! Unironically, I was in Sunday school and seeing all of these kids that didn't know how to read the Bible out loud, and they stumbled over every other word, and I'm just like, did none of you guys actually do scripture? Because like we did scripture study, and I don't care if you do that every single morning. It's a family to family thing. But my mom thought that the best way to teach me how to read long linguistic sentences, because the Bible's not really an easy read, but the best way to read it is to read it out loud and read it with family 10 minutes a day. And so I was kind of surprised that I was the only one that could read it that well.
Oh yeah, I had church group on Saturdays, and we had to read and memorize different parts of the scripture.
Oh, we didn't memorize
To,
the
like, We had to memorize. I had so many Bible verses just stuck in my head for years because I wanted the fancy little patches to go on my vest.
Yeah.
We didn't even get patches. You guys were getting rewards for learning shit in church?
I did. And then
We
I
had
got
to do it every Wednesday, every Sunday morning, and every Sunday night, and I didn't get jack.
I was told that everything that I did good would be a brick in the mansion in heaven.
Oh yeah, no, we were told that too.
I just got to go on mission trips in different states.
Oh goodness.
We
Maybe
didn't get
one
to go on
day.
mission trips either.
Oh man. Maybe one
My
day.
church sucked.
Maybe one day we should do a religion stream where we talk about our past religious experiences.
My reward in heaven was good enough, Lumi.
There we
Oh,
go.
you guys want me to talk about how much I hate my old church?
We can have
I
a
can talk about
church
how much I
trauma.
hate my old church.
We're just
Oh,
gonna
gosh.
have a religious trauma stream.
There we go.
Oh hell yeah! It's like my church was nice. There was one pastor that introduced me to like Christian rock, and that's when I learned about Flyleaf.
Yeah.
And then I seen Flyleaf move from Christian rock to regular rock, which, like, you know, their music fucking slapped. And it just like it was nice. I liked the church, but then I got basically unofficially kicked out of the church after some unfortunate circumstances. And then what? A year later, the pastor's kid got pregnant, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's okay," and I'm like, "Bitch, you're worse than me." And then that's when I just left the church, and I never went back because fuck them, fuck the church.
I still like VeggieTales though.
VeggieTales is good.
Oh, VeggieTales is great.
VeggieTales is absolutely awesome.
The new one kind of sucks, but old VeggieTales slap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not,
for like a meme stream, I would play this old VeggieTales point-and-click adventure game I used to have if I could find it.
Or actually, you know what? I think we can technically just have a stream where we watch VeggieTales, because they let they let people stream VeggieTales because you're spreading the word of Christ.
You know what? I'm down. I am 100% down.
The Jonah movie.
Which Jonah movie?
Okay.
VeggieTales
So,
Jonah movie.
So it depends, because I've listened to a lot of documentaries on VeggieTales. I don't know if the Jonah movie would be okay, because a lot of the older stuff I think is okay, but I think the Jonah movie's owned under companies that wouldn't be okay with that. So we would have to look, but maybe.
Ooh.
The Jonah movie's old.
I know, but so the way that it worked with VeggieTales behind the scenes is they had a lot of money problems, and the Jonah movie was like supposed to be a get out of the hole movie so that they can make enough money to continue floating, and a company was going to provide them like the money for it, and it just didn't work out. So it's technically not owned by the VeggieTales people because of that.
I guess we can look into it. Also,
good.
In fairness, from my perspective, it wasn't a horror show till like my last year there. So.
Oh, your church?
Yeah.
Mm. It's uploaded on YouTube?
It wasn't until like my last year when I finally left that it was a horror show.
We'll look at it, chat. We would like to... Listen, that would be a fun stream.
We can watch Larry Boy.
Larry Boy's so good.
Oh, we can also watch The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything.
That was a good one, too.
It was.
What's your favorite Larry? Okay, well, we'll jump on to some other stuff here in a moment. But what was your favorite Larry Boy, if you had one?
Oh my fucking God!
I know there's like
a
few of them.
The memory hole.
The rumor weed.
It was all about. It was a plant, and it was the whole episode was about telling white lies and why
the rumor
it's not okay
weed.
to lie to people.
Larry Boy and the rumor weed. That was a good one.
I like Larry Boy and the Bad Apple.
I don't think I ever saw that one, but I heard that one was good too.
What about just like regular episodes, like the regular Christian stuff? Because for me, it's probably got to be either the one with Nebuchadnezzar where they did the whole chocolate money
Oh, that
thing.
was a great one.
Oh yeah.
That was a really good one. It was really accurate too.
the Lion's Den one,
That was
because
good
of the
too.
3 celery singing the song about how they're gonna kill him.
Yes, that's a great one. Or the one where they take I think it was the girl one, the grape, shopping, and they talk about how she needs all this stuff. That was that song is a
Madame
meme.
Blueberry.
Yes, Madame Blueberry. That is a meme. That song is such a meme. I wonder if we could get away playing it. You know what? That's the outro song.
Does anyone remember who made Prince of Egypt? It was like one of the big companies did it. What was it? It was not Pixar.
DreamWorks did the Prince of Egypt.
DreamWorks, thank you. Yeah, Prince of Egypt was done by one of the really big companies, which is why it's such a like beautifully animated movie.
Dude, what was the other one that they did? Because they did one other religious movie. Fuck. Let's see.
The coat one.
Yeah.
The fantastical coat of many colors. For some reason I can't remember what that story is.
Oh, it was Joseph, King of Dreams.
Yeah, that was it.
Holy cow, the whole episode is just there. What the fuck?
What? Yeah.
That is crazy.
Here's the thing, right? A lot of, like you said, a lot of religious organizations typically don't want to target those. And believe it, even like larger companies that helped in producing some of these, a lot of times they don't want to target them either for like copyright.
Yeah.
Because they agreed to make them for the exact same reason that the original organization wanted to make it to start with, because they agreed with like the spreading the word thing.
Yes.
There are a lot of Christians and just like
Yes.
all over the place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Again, I did a lot of research in the very beginning of the VeggieTales like company. Almost everybody was Christian, and part of the reason why I fell apart is because there were less and less Christians. Believe it or not, having less and less Christians at the top making money decisions kind of didn't help. Anyway, that's a story for another day.
VeggieTales still ended up in kind of like a Mr. Rogers neighborhood sort of area.
It did.
Where it was still like teaching good lessons to kids. So, you know.
Yeah.
Potato, potato.
And the original creators of Bob and Larry were still there till kind of like the end.
Yeah.
But now, if they continue making more, they're not involved.
Completely random side note, because this was always just a weird fact I learned, was that everybody's favorite, like, electronic band, or whatever you want to call them, Owl City, is technically a Christian band.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
They have, like, a whole Christian album and everything, and I didn't learn that till one day I saw their specifically Christian album in Barnes & Noble.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, though. It's good, though. Anyway, all right, that was an unintended side tangent. I might have to skip almost everything we were going to talk about here before we get to the Vox stuff. But let's talk real quickly about some updates. Nijisanji is looking for a duo couple chat.
They want to fight Fumakoko.
Yeah, they want to fight the best doggos here. So if either of you are boyfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend, or whatever, or your brother and sister, husband or wife or whatever, go apply, I guess. I don't recommend it.
That would be my thing if I was running a VTuber org. I want a brother-sister duo that has like very heavy incest undertones.
No. You need to have a husband and wife audition to be twins, and then just lean into the twincest thing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, they didn't have exactly brother and sister.
Best value brand.
Nijisanji with me.
Oh, that's me.
Another weird Christian thing is Bible Man.
And then we can leave.
God, Bible Man was ridiculous.
Oh my goodness, chat, you guys are awesome.
And next to Nijisanji wanting a duo couple to compete with HoloLive's MommaOcco, HoloLive has said they're actually going to pull back from releasing new people.
Yes.
Because they want to put more emphasis on pre-existing talent.
Yes, so they are working more on improving the quality of their current talents than actually finding new ones, which I personally think is going to help them in the long run, because it costs.
I think they just really want Gura to stream more. Probably
they're going to try. They're going to try to encourage. I'll be honest with you. When she does stream, it's a treat. There is the unspoken language of less is more sometimes, and I think with Gura, that might be the case, because I think every time she comes back, a shit ton of people watch her.
Oh, she completely like saps viewers away from other debuts to the point where a lot of people think she's doing it on purpose.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
She always comes back right when Nijisanji's got something coming.
She comes back when anyone has something cooking.
The thing is,
she always blows them out of the water.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's what sharks are there for. The thing is, they're allowing minors to apply as well. Oh, that's right. I did see that they are allowing minors to interview for Nijisanji. So Ninji is burying themselves deeper in that black company status, I guess you could say. It's kind of weird.
Niji's a bunch of weirdos.
I hope they don't actually hire a bunch of minors. Maybe that guy that said he was a nephew to a Ninji exec. Maybe he wasn't lying after all. I don't know. At this point, Ninja can't go. Well, I say Ninja can't sink any further, but they can always go further. Everybody can always go further. Chat.
When it comes to companies, there's never bottom of the well.
No. Speaking of bottom of the well, really quickly, we're gonna give you guys a Ricky Rackets update. Real quick, Nick Rekieta was arrested last week. He's out. He's actually posted bail. He paid $50,000 for his bail instead of staying away from alcohol and booze and all forms of drugs.
Just so we're clear, chat, that is 5 and 4 zeros.
Yes.
Just because he really wants to be able to drink.
Yes. Pretty much, yes. So the conditions were either you pay $50,000 bail, and I believe that's just for him, not his wife. So I have no idea if his wife is any different. But it was.
I would genuinely laugh if he just left her in there.
I've thought about that, and it's saddening to think about. So he paid 50 grand for bail. Okay, that's the full amount. I am assuming that there was none that was left behind, which means that he can drink, he can do drugs, he can do all manner of things, and he can leave the state if he wanted to. So, cool. And right now, the only real big thing that has come out, well, there's a couple big things. Number one, people are petitioning for the body cam footage to be made public. The owner of the farms has made a petition to his state to have this stuff like worked on. They raised $6,000 for this, and it is going to go to the county if they agree to work on it. And so in a couple of weeks to maybe a couple of months, we're going to get the body cam footage for the arrest of Nick Rekieta. The only other thing that was really pertinent that really, I don't know if Lumi saw any of this, but the warrant information came out, and the supplemental, so for those that don't know, a supplemental is basically extra stuff that's added on to a police report, things like a warrant, and it typically includes personal notes from the police officer that you don't normally need inside the regular report. It includes things like notes of things that they were thinking about. I wrote supplementals all the time when I assisted other police officers with things. But this is basically like a bunch of notes that came out when they were, when after they were writing the reports. And one of the things that was like most depressing to me is one of the police officers said that while they were performing the arrest on Rekieta, his wife, and the whore that they were sleeping with, that the youngest child, I believe, and their youngest child is 6, came up to the officer and said, "Can I have clean clothes? Because I haven't had clean clothes in a while." And that like really stings to me. You know, as somebody who has seen abuse of children in their life, it is really like sad to hear that like one of his youngest children come up to a police officer that's in the middle of arresting him and saying, "Can you please help me? Because I haven't had clean clothes." It's like, oh.
Also, it came out that his sister is one of the people that ratted him out.
Yes, his sister is one of the people that ratted him out. It was a combination of the police officers getting the mandatory reporter to report him, watching Aaron M. Holt, who was one of the guys that he was swinging with. He did many streams that they watched, and they watched his own streams. So the cop went to the judge and said, "Look at this stream where this guy is saying that you have alcohol coming out of your vagina, and sign my warrant so I can go arrest him." And the judge signed that warrant to go arrest him.
Jeez.
So, yeah, that was really hard to listen to, honestly, because I was there when Legal Mindset was reading it, and it was just like really depressing. Like I try not to cry a whole lot, especially when I'm at work, but when I was listening to that, it was really rough for me. So, right now, this is just a police supplemental report. Police reports, obviously police can lie if they want to, but this does not look good. Having a warrant signed by a judge to be used is a pretty, I wouldn't say it's damning, it's not really damning evidence, but it is probable cause, and when we get the body cam footage, we're going to see all this shit for ourselves. So, in a couple of months' time, or whenever this stuff comes out, if Nick is actually the gross subhuman that this stuff is alleging, we're going to see body cam footage of a 6-year-old walking up to a cop and saying, "Can I have a change of clothes? I haven't had a change of clothes in a while."
You actually likely won't see that if the body cam footage comes out.
Well, it'll be censored, obviously. So the way that it works is they will definitely.
If it involves a child, it's just black. It's either blacked out entirely or it's cut.
Oh, you think do you think they might cut it?
It depends on how their office does things. Some offices will just cut the entire footage from that segment.
We'll see.
Or they'll just have like a huge black bar over the entire child and have the audio muted.
Well, I know that for at the very least bit, all of the children are going to be censored in some way because they will always try and hold the identity of the child if they are under the age of 18. They may do the same thing for all of the adults in the house. So at the very least, we know that the children are going to be blurred. They may cut that out. But the body cam footage is going to...
for the best.
Yes, I'll be honest with you, it is for the best. But if seeing a blurred out blob come up to a cop and say, "Can I have clothes?" Is on screen, I'm gonna probably lose my mind, in not the best way. So, you know, again, Nick, a lot of people are just like saying, "Oh man, there's a grand conspiracy going on." Nick's being like hurt, his image is being like tarnished and all that shit. I would say that I hope that's true, because if this stuff, if all of this body cam footage comes out and it's what the cops say it is, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of depressing. Yeah.
Anyways, you're rambling, Akko.
I know. Just all right. So.
In other news, Bloodborne is coming to PC.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. Let me see if I can find. There was a silly image that somebody posted.
Along with Bloodborne Remastered, Bloodborne 2, and Bloodborne Cart.
Here, chat. Let me bring this up just for you.
You're gonna make me commit a federal crime, I swear to God.
Chat, this was before the State of Play came out. This is totally 100% real. Even though the State of Play is over and you already know what's coming, this was leaked for the State of Play. Look, Bloodborne PC port, Bloodborne Remastered, Bloodborne 2. This is getting really good, chat. Bloodborne Cart.
Don't you like that I remembered that in order?
Bloodborne Forbidden West, Bloodborne The Way of Water, Born in Blood, Blood of Born, Eldenborn, Bloodborne DLC, more... I can't do that. Jason Bloodborne, and Left 4 Born. So chat, press 1 if you think this is actually real, if you think that we're actually getting Bloodborne Cart.
For those of you that didn't watch the State of Play, we got remasters, we got ports, and we got I think like a remake of an already kind of shitty game that didn't need a remake.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the State of Play had nothing that interested almost anyone.
Yeah, none of it looked really... I'm gonna be honest with you, I listened to Moist Critical, because he's somewhat interesting.
The most interesting thing was Star Wars is releasing an Overwatch clone.
And
like,
it didn't look that interesting
10
to me.
years too late.
It didn't look that interesting. I'm gonna be honest, Star Wars is kind of dead. If you like Star Wars, the franchise, good for you, but I think the franchise is dead, and I only enjoy the classics.
No, my thing is it's just too late.
You think so? You think if they did it a couple years ago, it'd be fine?
More than a couple years. They would have had to do it like 5 years ago. Because the whole hero shooter thing is just not like popular anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are some hero shooters that are popular, but people don't pick up new ones. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. People will typically only stick with a few of them. So I get that. But yeah, State of Play sucked. That's what we're trying to say. So, you know, yay. I didn't really expect this to be that interesting. Okay, let's move on to the main topic of the night. If you came here for the main topic, it starts right now, basically. So I am going to be doing a majority of the reading. Lumi and Mizu are going to probably be, I know Mizu is gonna probably pick... Well, you're not dead, but you're gonna, like, give commentary about what we're reading. Because, like... Okay, chat. So, for what we're going to be reading tonight, the TLDR is we've got an artist and a commissioner that are having a dispute. Money is involved, and lines are being drawn. And we are going to go over both of their documents to the best of our abilities. One of them is 51 pages. I believe the other one is 71 pages. And so we're not going to read every single bit in these documents. I have skimmed both of them to the best of my abilities, and we're going to go through them and talk about them. And at the end, we're going to let you guys decide who the quote-unquote bad guy is. I know Mizu has kind of already done some reading and has some opinions. Lumi, I don't know if you've read any of these. I know that you said that you are friendly with one of the people that we're going to be talking about tonight.
Oh, I just said I'm familiar.
You're familiar? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah. When's Bloodborne the musical?
I will be perfectly honest, chat. I am somewhat biased against one of the people. However, I somewhat agreed with them. But I kind of disagree with both people anyways, so not a big deal.
I'm in kind of agreement with you on that one. So, alrighty. Let us swap over here. So, let me just zoom out for this. We have a lot of screenshots. One of our base members went ahead and did some archiving for us. You know who you are in the chat. He asked not to be named. If he does want to shout himself out, he can. But he did some of the archiving for us. So we're going to start out here with Hypa Vox, who is an Australian-based VTuber. I'm going to do this in the most concise timeline possible. I believe this is what happened first, because I compared dates. I believe that this is what happened first. So Hypa Vox here says, I don't know what to do. I'm under enough stress as it is, and now I'm being mistreated for months. I'm being pushed to defend myself because I'm being given no other choice. I'm under enough stress, and they knew that, and they knew my situation, yet they stole anyway. And there is a screenshot of them showing that PayPal has deducted $652, 80 USD from their account. And basically they will go on to say that there is a chargeback here. So I'm going to be doing a lot of swapping, by the way, chat, so that I can make sure that this looks all professional for you. But basically, she will go on to say that a chargeback was filed on her because of a client. Now, she doesn't actually mention who this client is. They're very concise not to mention who it is. However, at the exact same time, like a day later, the supposed client decides to speak out about it. Their name is Ayumi. They are, I don't know if they're in a group. I actually tried to look into both of them. I don't know if they're actually in a group. They might be, but I was kind of confused on their naming, but that's not really important. So Ayumi decides to come out, like all people do in these Twitter dramas, and decides to make a tweet saying, buyer beware of Hypa Vox, missed deadline without communication, blames my manager and me for not reminding her enough. We'll talk about the manager after we talk about these two, because I have comments about them. Did not provide every item paid for, which we're going to get into. This is going to be kind of harder to talk about because we'll get into it. Almost all assets are unfinished, not as requested, and/or ignore provided branding guidelines. And she includes more below. So this is kind of like a TLDR that she puts out on Twitter so that everybody can read. But then she includes a document right below that. So we're going to start off... actually, I believe that... Yeah, this is pretty much all in the document. So we're not actually going to read this. I'm going to open up the document. Now, well, here, we'll show this one first. So this is the tweet where she has the document, and it just continues on here saying, did not provide enough whips to allow for revisions and then refused them when requested on May 26th. So keep that in mind. Was given the opportunity to remedy her mistake, but chose to block my manager and me instead while keeping the money, and harassed and subtweeted us. So Ayumi is basically alleging here that Hypa Vox, the VTuber that had their chargeback, basically did a lot of bad things that you as an artist should not do, and they actually go through that in their doc here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this here. Like I said, I have skimmed both documents, the Vox one less than the other one, but we'll go through it to the best of our abilities here. And a lot of it's I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. I really don't like either party, and I'll kind of get into that while we go through here, because I have issues with both of them. But I'm gonna keep it, like, for the most part, objective as we go through this. So let me open this up here, and I am probably gonna have Mizu and Lumi help me read this here. Can I zoom in here? Just give me a minute, chat. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in there. Is that good? That should be good. I just want to make sure that it is visible. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Lumi and Mizu, would you be open to reading a little bit, or do you not want to read tonight?
I'm not much of a reader unless you have like something really specific you want to read.
Okay, sounds good. Lumi, what about you? Would you be willing to do a tiny bit of reading tonight, or are you like just exhausted?
Well, because like, what specifically are we reading?
Well, I'm just asking.
We were, like,
not like
we were
right
just
now.
Cover it a little bit.
No, like, well, I'm gonna be like pointing out specific things, but like, would you be willing to read a little bit later down? This is what I'm asking. If needed.
If you need me to, yeah, just let me know.
Sounds good. Perfect. All right. So, I'm gonna go ahead and what we'll do is we'll read through this TLDR, and then we're just gonna kind of so a lot of this document here, chat, is just screenshots. Thank God. I would say like 50 or 60% of this first document is screenshots. And so we're gonna skim the screenshots to the best of our abilities here. So I'm gonna start off here. And this is from Ayumi, where they say, I had to delay a really exciting upcoming 2.0 debut because of this commission being so insanely delayed and communication with her being so difficult, and now I have a folder of assets so low quality and inconsistent that I cannot use them. I am out of $1,350 USD and only charged back half on PayPal since I felt it was still fair to compensate you for a lot of time that was invested. Now, chat, there's a really quick thing to point out. Not a judgment thing here at all. But Ayumi, in this opening statement, will go from third person to talking to directly Vox, and then going back into third person, which I thought was kind of interesting. You're portraying me as though I charge back the full price while I'm sitting here enjoying all your polished artwork, when that could not be further from the truth. I already told you I will not use any of these assets ever if you refund me. I gave you the option to refund me an even smaller amount and have my manager revise the assets for you. You're overwhelmingly rude and unprofessional throughout the entire process to both my manager and me as well, which we let slide almost always because we wanted to be compassionate about your circumstances. You caused virtually all the stress you complained about yourself, blame my manager and me for not staying on top of your ADHD enough, and have no sense of professionalism or accountability. This isn't the first time you were late on a commission of mine, and it's impacting my career either, and I still wanted to work with you to help you as a friend. This isn't the first time I've asked this of you, but I will ask it again. Please please pay me back half of the commission's value as I requested on PayPal, and then let's go our separate ways. Please stop harassing us. And so, basically just her, Ayumi mentioning that, Vox, they had agreed to commission, and she is alleging that Vox didn't give her, what she paid for. So let's go ahead and scroll down here. And so we are going to go through the timeline here. And, excuse me. Let's just continue on here. So, the context before the commission was issued in 2024. In late 2023, my manager and I had a meeting with Hypa where we discussed potentially commissioning her for a variety of assets for her 2.0 debut for mine that was still in extremely early planning stages. At this point, nothing was set in stone or committed, no outline was drafted, no invoice was created, and no payment was due. This is the initial meeting just to see if a commission Hypavox would be interested in later down the line. So in late 2023 is when they reach out for this commission. And something else that's really important that I wanted to point out here, Hypa was also a client of Ayumi's manager, which again I would like to talk about later during the stream. So these two are intertwined for, from my look, a couple of reasons. First, one wants to transact with the other, and two, they know each other because the manager has previously worked with Vox. I don't know why she doesn't work with Vox anymore, but I thought that was important to point out, considering what we're going to see later. So, they request a first meeting on February 2024, and scheduled it for February 2026. And the entire next couple of screenshots are going to be just them actually making this. It was set up from Evelyn, or Eve, I believe is how they go by, with Vox. Evelyn is the manager, and this entire string here is them going through setting up the meeting here, and they set up a meeting. I should have edited this, but they set up a meeting with Hypa, You can see all of the notable information here. Boom, boom, all that stuff is really good. And so great. They set it up for 2 days later. However, she says that Hypa failed to show up for the meeting, prompting a new one to be scheduled. So, Evelyn reaches out on the 3rd of, wait a minute. Hold on a moment. Let's see. That's, yep, Sunday, March 3rd. Yeah, okay. So, wait, hold on a moment. What? Okay. I see. I was a little confused here based off of... Okay, I see. So, the thing that kind of confused me here is it says it was scheduled for the 26th, but down here...
No, it says it was scheduled on the 26th.
Oh, was it? Oh, yes. Okay. See, that confused me there. Okay. Yeah. So they start communication on the 24th. They schedule something on the 26th for the 3rd of March here. And Ayumi says that Vox doesn't show up for it. And in these messages here, Evelyn's like, hey, Hypa, where are you? And then Hypa's like, yo, what's up? And then Evelyn's like, we were supposed to have our meeting. And then Hypa's like, oh, was that today? I'm sorry. I'm guessing you're still not able to do it anymore. And just Hypa's apologetic and saying, can we reschedule? And then they continue onwards. And they schedule another meeting for the 9th of March. And this entire conversation here is going through the scheduling that they want to go through here. Great. They set up a new meeting for, let's see here. It says the 17th here.
14 days later.
Scheduled on the 9th for March 17th. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it's scheduled 14 days later. And same details apply. Need to make changes, all that other stuff. Awesome. And so after that, regrettably, due to a recent passing of her mother, my manager unfortunately failed to properly communicate with Vox that she wouldn't be able to make the meeting, for which she apologized and took the responsibility. Okay, so second meeting, unfortunately, this time it's Evelyn's fault. Well, it's not really their fault, but Evelyn has to cancel the meeting because they have a family thing that's going on, and so they have to reschedule again. By the way, if you are watching this on the replay and you want to read any of these, you may. These are also available on our Discord if you want to read them. We have saved copies of these documents if you want to read them for yourself. But if you want to read these at any point...
There's 121 pages total, chat, between the two people.
I will say right now, chat, I did not read every single word of these. I read most of them, just because reading every single DM would have taken me way too many hours.
121 pages.
Yeah, it's way too many. Way too many. And I don't know why it has to be that many. Like, I understand that when you want to express concern or hurt feelings, or even when you want to accuse somebody of cheating you, yeah, you want to show the proof. But I don't know if all of this is necessary. Do either of you agree or disagree with me on that? Because I don't know if I would need this much.
I don't know what you're asking.
Well, like, would you, like, okay, let's say that you magically had to do this for whatever reason. I know neither would. But if you did, would you make it like 51 pages long?
No.
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 No. I don't think so.
It's like, I haven't had, like, experiences with artists and shit to have this much communication between me and them, honestly. It's like, I don't... And it's like... It seems like they're both incompetent because how can she not function on her own without a manager?
Well, okay. I mean, a counterpoint to that. Managers do exist for a reason. Most of the time, very specifically with Paco, for instance.
Let's not get into the importance of managers. Managers exist for a reason. Sometimes they're useful.
Yes, like they're gonna help.
Don't get knuckled down in the weeds.
Pretty much.
I understand like having a manager for like sponsorship deals and stuff, but not like commissions, unless you're getting like something absolutely huge or there's a language barrier.
I will say, this manager, I have no idea why Ayumi hired them. As I'll get into later, I do not think that they are very useful. I personally think that if you want to do commissions, that is something you should schedule yourself. Especially if you're if you're in a big company, fine. If you're in HoloLive, that stuff's all going to be probably done and dealt with by HoloLive's team. When you're an indie and you're still, because I looked at Ayumi stuff, they're decently sized, but they're not like gigantic. If they do this full time, maybe, I don't know, but I don't feel like you really need a manager for this stuff. I don't know. Personal opinion.
If you're a 2-view, you don't need a manager.
No, I mean, Ayumi is not a 2-view. From what I've seen, they're decently sized. They got like over 20,000 followers on Twitch.
Okay, but how many viewers does she get?
I don't know. I don't know.
I have seen people with like tens of thousands of followers and not breaking 2 views.
No, I get you. I guess the point I'm trying to make is I don't feel like this manager is necessary to do all of this. The big problem I see with this is it complicates communication. Because when you want to have something very specific done, like me, for example, when I want to commission something, chat, I'm not going to tell Paco to go to somebody. I'm going to go to that person myself. I'm going to say, can I give you money and can you give me pretty picture? And that's typically how it works. I don't feel like I would need a manager. So that just on its face, I find a little confusing. I can definitely see some communication problems with it, but I don't know. Maybe they thought that because, oh, Vox used to work with Evelyn, maybe that can be fine because they were friendly. I don't know. I just feel like it's very unnecessary to have a third person do this kind of stuff for you when you're not, like, very big. Ayumi averages 30 to 50 viewers. Well, there you go. That is not a full-time streamer. I'm sorry.
And if you're trying to be a full-time streamer with those types of numbers without at least 3 whales, you know.
Yeah. But no, I do not understand why the manager is doing this.
I feel like if you're getting 30 to 50 live viewers, you're doing pretty good.
I'm not going to say that you're not doing good, but I don't feel like that's full-time streamer territory.
Probably not.
2 view means like literally 2 viewers or 2 digits.
2 digits.
2 digits, yeah.
I think most people consider 2-view like 2 digits.
Do we even what? But
the implication of the insult is that you are literally have 2 people watching you.
Yes, pretty much. Anyway, going back to this.
Uno is commissioned. It's good enough time as any to say this. I reached out to all 3 people involved for clarification on what exactly was commissioned and what exactly was not delivered or what was unfinished. For Ayumi and her manager, they basically told me they would not tell me what was unfinished.
Yes.
I asked very specifically, like, hey, what exactly is unfinished and in what way is it unfinished? And they're like, we said everything we wanted to in the document, we won't say anymore. And I was like, okay. And then I asked Hypa if the manager or Ayumi had told her what was unfinished or what they did not like, and she said that they did not tell her. Just said that stuff was unfinished and left it at that.
Pretty much.
Because of that, I don't put much stake in the claims that the commissions were unusable, because they refused to give me clarification on that.
Pretty much, yeah. Like we made, Mizu made a considerable effort to try and figure this stuff out, and we got nothing.
I'm not gonna call it considerable. I just messaged them and I was like, hey, can you please tell me?
I would say,
and they're like, nope, we said everything we wanted to say.
Fair enough.
Fine, but like, if you don't give me clarification, I need more than just you telling me it's not done.
Pretty much.
I need to know why it's not done, or like what specifically isn't done. Because you could show me like a VTuber model, or like just a picture of it, and that could be anywhere between completely unfinished and just started, or completely fully ready and rigged.
Yes.
And you won't know, because a lot of it's like back end or artist side stuff. So it's completely possible that some of the stuff Ayumi got is just completely non-functional, but they won't tell me that.
Yeah.
So.
I will mention, chat, the details of what they wanted are mentioned below, and we'll get to that eventually. It wasn't a model. It was basically background assets. We'll get into that in a moment, but like, it wasn't big like a model or anything. Correction, Ayumi averages 50 to 80 viewers. I still don't think that that's full-time streamer, but that's good to know. I call BS. They got something to hide. I have no idea. Anyway, we're gonna move along here. So, meeting 3 rescheduled March 29th through April 1st. scheduled for April 2nd, 2 a.m. Now, I'm trying to see if she mentioned at all when she was debuting. The Ayumi's plan was to debut sometime this week. I believe it was either this week or last week, but the plan was for them to debut
last week.
Was it last week? Okay. They had planned...
The earliest possible date was the 21st.
Yes. And it has passed. So, the fact that it has passed now is crazy. The thing that is most crazy to me is they reached out at the end of the year, or excuse me, the end of last year to start this work. It is April now, alright, chat? There's a month left for this kind of work. Just keep that in your head. We'll get to more commentary on that later. Alright, so, meeting will last, the meeting was the first to work out This meeting was the first to work out properly and lasted 27 minutes, where more details were chilled about commissioning her for stream assets. During this meeting, we requested an estimated quote for the commission, which, though we clarified was no commitment, we expected to be generally accurate. The quote Vox gave was 300 USD with minor wiggle room, though she was pretty confident in it, which is very far away from the money mentioned later. I initially requested an itemized invoice the same day, as I was happy to pay it right away, but she did not provide, even though in the VC meeting she said she would. We had no opportunity to review her invoice at this point, no due date was discussed, no payment was requested or made, and no formal commitment to this commission was made at this point. Prior to the meeting, my manager forwarded a TLDR of several discussions she and I had about how to approach this commission, since we wanted to give as much liberty as possible to Vox, as I liked her art style a ton and knew she did not work well with tight constraints based off of previous commissions/discussions. Which I don't think are ever brought up. This was not a final commitment, merely an update to keep her updated on what we were discussing in anticipation of the meeting. So here are the DMs here. I'm going to assume that they had some sort of VC, but this right here is detailing what they want. A game and just chatting overlay. Starting soon, be right back, and stream ending overlay. Twitch panels, Twitter pinned panels, which I assume is for a Twitter pin. Social media banners, live stream schedule, social media post templates, promotional graphics templates, debut slideshow size. This is a lot of professional stuff, chat. Definitely a lot of money being put towards this. Especially when you want to make a completely custom. Nobody else can use it because it's got your name on it. And they say that the only real constraint is it needs to fit her character, her being Ayumi. Somewhat futuristic, the color palette in line with the design. And they're saying we can provide you with a reference sheet, fonts and stuff, and all of that other cool stuff. So, move on. They do the call. I am going to assume, so Ayumi did a lot of censoring in this, probably to censor out the unfinished assets, because there were a lot of censored things that I noticed. This is probably the character sheet. I have no idea. Oh, yep, it probably is. It says master design. Here's a picture that Ayumi decided to use. Here's some more censored stuff. Here's some overlay references. And there's Ayumi's email. I don't know why Ayumi didn't censor out emails and stuff. I mean, like, if she put it out there, I'm fine with this, but I don't know why she didn't censor any of that.
So I will say, from my perspective, I do have a problem with this next part where she's censoring. It's one thing for her to be censoring, like, some of the stuff that are on her side.
Yes.
The fact she's over here censoring, like, the stuff hypavox is sending back, that's the stuff you're making claims about. So
yes.
That you kind of need to actually have visible.
Yes. So chat, whatever is under this white box is whatever Hypa was working on. Because it looks like, let's see here, the meeting was on, what day was the meeting again? It was on the 6th. She starts that day to work on it. That day she's already working on it. And I have no idea what it is, but like she's working on it. And then made a slight adjustment to the bars. More censored stuff. And then they're talking about other things that they need to add. And it was like, making tweaks, I've done work on the chatting screen, showing more censored stuff, talking about things that, a lot of this stuff is just like, hey, here's this stuff that we're working on. And this is all done on the 6th, by the way, which is, you know, compared to what Ayumi says, Vox gets to work right away, which definitely is not what one would expect, but from what was said, but it's cool to see that, like, that's happening. And skip to the next day, hey, here's today's work. And then Ayumi says, here's more assets. Oh, I didn't know this was before. But, okay, so really quickly, if the message is highlighted like this, does that mean that you are the recipient? I just want to double check.
That means you're the person being
okay.
added, yes.
So this is Evelyn's DMs here. This is Evelyn's screenshots that they are taking right here. So this is, yeah. Important thing to clarify.
They're all three in the chat.
Yes, but some of these screenshots that look like specifically were from Evelyn. Felt like it was interesting to point out. More censored stuff. There we go. So this is like 2 days of screenshots there. All of this communication occurred in the group chat between our, at the time, mutual manager, Hypavox, and myself. Given that I considered Hypavox at the time a friend and trustor, I did not think to stop her before the invoice was issued, since I did not believe the quote would change by a large amount, and I had intended to tip her at this point significantly regardless. I was also happy with the whips I had received at this point. Note that all whips so far were sent as screenshots of the artworks within the software she uses. Communication at this point was incredibly fast and kind. Did not seem to be any issues, which I was happy about, as these assets are a necessity for my debut plans. As with most commissions, but especially due to the nature of the dynamics between the three of us, a lot of communication following these initial whips happened between my manager and Vox directly. All the communication happened with my full knowledge and consent. Some of these messages I effectively even wrote myself for my manager to forward for convenience. Again, I don't know why, honey, you're using your manager for this stuff. Again,
why you're not just talking to Vox, especially because you call them a friend.
Exactly. I don't get it. Like,
this is adding... The problem is they're just adding an unnecessary middleman to this.
It breaks down communication by doing that.
Well, because here's the thing. If you have a manager that's helping you get, like a commission or something, for whatever reason you have to have the manager help you get it, they should probably only be involved in specifically the negotiating the price and finding the artist themselves. After that, it should just be you talking back and forth with the artist, giving your references and all that. Or, if you have a manager that does all of that themselves, you're not involved at all.
Pretty much. I don't know, like, it can't really go both ways, because, like, I know from personal experience, if I involve, like, I work with multiple artists, if I involve a third person, that is going to break down communication so fast, because when two people are trying to communicate what the artist is supposed to do, the artist isn't going to get it right. I can tell you from experience, that's not going to happen. So, this is, like, rough to deal with, and it's kind of rude, in my personal opinion. You don't involve too many people. Too many chefs telling people what to make. Don't, just keep it down to one person. So on the 6th, they get, Hypavox gets back with the list of, the itemized list here. Here is a full back and forth between my manager on April 8th, which I was aware of and approved of. Wait a minute. April 8th. It says April 8th, but this is on the 6th. Wait, is that right? It says on
If it's off by like a day or two, it's really not that big a deal.
Okay, I was just confused. I was just confused there for a moment. All right. So this goes over all the prices here. There's a lot of stuff. They're talking about, okay, yeah, this is just a full itemized list of everything that she wants to do. Overlay. And this, by the way, I will say this is expensive, chat. I have no idea, like, how much professional overlays are really supposed to cost. I paid $10 for the overlay I use for my stuff right now because I got it on Etsy and all that stuff's mass produced. But if you're going professional and you're doing professional stuff, maybe this is proper. I don't know. If any of you know that stuff in the chat, you can say. $200 for the overlay, $100 for the intermission stuff, stream schedule, social media banners, Twitch panels. A lot of this stuff is very expensive. And then they're just talking about, is it 50 per social media banner? And they're just going through more details and all that kind of stuff. And Vox is like, can you give me references? Everyone's like, I can discuss it. We'll give you references. And another censored image with today's work. Awesome. And down here, as we start scrolling, they're asking more about pricing, and they're asking about different banner pricing, all that kind of stuff. And all this, again, this is all a lot of just pricing stuff, all that good stuff here. But this is where I start to notice the communication start to turn a little bit. So up here, they ask on the banner pricing and all that stuff. She says that chat box should be easy. Banners are $50, so it would be $150. Then they list all the things that they would need. And then Vox says, I assumed it was only 3, and I'm going to need everything specifically listed. If you guys can make a detailed list. So at this point, she doesn't really have a detailed list of all the things that they're looking for, which you should have when you're commissioning somebody. They need a very detailed... Here, just as a side note. When you start a commission with somebody, if they get started working, if you add a whole bunch of details later, my personal opinion is the artist shouldn't have to, like, unless you're willing to pay more to fix changes, the artist shouldn't have to really, like, add all of these things later on, because the initial conversation is where the transaction takes place. Because if you add more on later, that just breaks down communication and can frustrate the artist. As it looks like here, because Vox says respectfully, when we contacted in October about... by the way, this is April. October, like 6 months ago, I was upfront about not having prepped prices and the need for a full outline of what was needed. It's 5 weeks before she needs this done. I can get this done, but my issues are that there was a large amount of time to get this prepared on her end for me, and I had not received anything but a vague list, and we trust your judgment. So, like, 6 months ago, Ayumi is like, hey, I want this. You take care of it. No details for me. But now Evelyn is saying, well, we need some more detailed things done. And down here, Evelyn says, you think we may have a lot of time to prepare these things, but we've had to try and go to different artists. You know, and I understand shopping around, but you should factor in shopping, like, my personal opinion, if you're going to plan a debut like this, you should probably know who you're going with and have things set up before you set up a date to, like, to have the show. Because I don't know how TV shows work, but you probably should have everything done or close to being done before you decide to throw out a date for all that kind of stuff. So I can
it's pretty normal to schedule it ahead of time.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
Fair enough. I think my big problem, though, is, like, 6 months ago, they're like, hey, we need this made, and good luck. And then a couple months in, they're like, oh, we need very specific details. Like, well, I don't know what I'm going to have to do here, bro. If you say wing it, then wing it. Exactly. And as Vox says, I really wish it was communicated with me since I had asked for updates. I took this on as a special request from Ayumi and never actually offered these kinds of commissions beforehand, so I did not have anything prepared. So Vox is going into this blind because this is not their normal gig, but they're doing it for Ayumi because Ayumi is a friend, so, you know, doing stuff for friends, so that's cool. Once the detailed list is provided, I can give a full invoice. Otherwise, I can do hourly rates of $25 per hour of work done. That's actually not a bad rate. I don't know if that's good for artists or not, but that's not bad. Just from my personal opinion. I don't see how the other artists would have affected the list of items needed for me unless she was seeking other options first. Sorry if I'm coming off any sort of way, but I'm frustrated about how this is being handled. And again, I can kind of understand that. Again, with just the time constraints. And Evelyn says, I understand your frustrations, but everything we had back then was effectively just a concept X we ultimately stuck with after discussions with everybody from the merch provider, model artists, etc. We explored other paths as well, but this is one we decided to stick with. Doing so wasn't set in stone until recently. Again, I don't really feel like it's fair to put on the artist, like, hey, we want this that long ago, but now you're giving everything and you have a limited time to do it. I don't know. I feel like giving them that tough constraint and saying, hey, it's all on you. You need to get this done. Also, there's no details. And now there's all the details. Get it done right. Am I wrong? I just don't really like the jump there and the lack of communication. I don't know. Do either of you think I'm wrong on that?
It's like if you're commissioning an artist and you're giving them complete, like, creative freedom with minimal outlines and stuff, you better have a, like, either very long
turnaround time.
Yes.
Very long turnaround time or no turnaround time. Because, like, with me, unless it's something important, I usually don't have a deadline for artists that I work with.
Uh-huh.
Well, specifically ones that I have worked with multiple times in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they usually get it done within, like, 3-4 months, which is perfectly fine. That ain't bad, especially for, like, fully rendered illustrations and stuff.
No, yeah, for sure. Like,
it's like, if you want something done for something important, give an outline. provide references and all of that, not just do whatever you want.
I agree. I 100% agree. The one, I don't know, major problem. Anyway, as the whole thing continues, Vox says, I am not a freelance artist, I'm a streamer, content creator. I was approached, I'm guessing, based on the work I've done for myself. So it's up to Yumi if she's happy to pay the fees listed or not. I'm happy to work, but I need what I've requested and should be paid properly for the quality you sought. Everyone's like, I'm not quite sure why you speak as though we have an issue. And then they just go on talking about all of... anyway, this entire thing is like a lack of communication. Vox saying, well, I don't know if I can get this done in time unless I charge more. And Evelyn's like, okay, fine, I guess. Vox is just like, listen, if you want this stuff, just understand every platform's different. Things are going to be sized different. I have to do different things for different stuff. And yeah, that's basically all of this conversation here. More censored stuff. Again, I have absolutely no idea what any of this is. It'd be cool if we did, but
it would have been in their best interest to not censor so much, to be honest.
I'll be honest with you. Yes, I agree.
It's like if you're going to give someone shit about, like, you know, their quality of work, you shouldn't be censoring any of it.
No, I agree.
I don't care. You shouldn't be censoring any of it.
I agree. If I was gonna call out an artist for work they did, like if I was afraid an artist gave me AI artwork, I'm not gonna call out the artist and then censor the AI artwork. I'm gonna show the AI artwork. I don't know. So here they give a complete overview of what they need. Again, this is the second time they're providing this list, which confused me because it should have been sorted the first time you had the meeting. I don't know why it wasn't, but Vox is okay to be upset with this, and then Vox is like, it provides an entire list here. So here is the entire list. I don't know if chat you can see that very well, but I'm gonna read it. So, streaming overlay, gaming and VR, $130. Streaming overlay, chatting, $70. Custom banner, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, $150. Social media banners plus PSD included, $150. Model reveal graphic, $40. Text-based post template, $35. Image-based post template, $35. Stream asset, intermission screens, be right back, starting in animated, $150. Live stream schedule, $50. Debut slides template, which is pending, needs more information. Twitter pin panels, $150, and Twitch panels, $50. Total is 1,010 USD, and more does get tacked on later. Evelyn does provide the examples, and oh, you know what? I should have just scrolled down a little bit further. I forgot about that. This is the full list here for you, chance. You can pause and take a look if you want. Price listed to take into account time, quality, and experience. The work is given 4 weeks for completion, which is considered a rush package. So she's already charging more because it is a rush, which I definitely think is okay. They talk about commercial rights. Ev wants to talk in VC. They can't. And yeah, that's pretty much the rest for this conversation. Manager must be new. No, the manager is not new. But we'll talk about them later. So that's pretty much all for the planning phase of this. The entire getting up to starting work. All right. So it's the 8th of April. Again, they have a month and some change to actually get this stuff done. And work had to be scrapped or restarted because of these changes that they had to make. Great. Awesome. And as Yumi says, after the communication occurred, we noticed a certain tweet by hypavox that caught us off guard. Now I'm going to be honest. Sometimes you can tell when a subtweet's about you. I don't know if this is about them. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Vox may clarify later. But personally, I would not subtweet like this if you're frustrated about this, because it can hurt for business, and it can be clipped out of context and put into a document like this so that people can shame you. But I definitely would understand why she would make this. Then Ayumi's like, I was hurt by this. I asked Evelyn to ask about it, and Evelyn decides to write all of this out right here. And basically all of it's about how they didn't mean to disrespect her. We want to pay you correctly, but this is just what we're working with. You have 5 or 6 weeks. Is that okay? Basically, and again, just like, we're not trying to hurt you, but this is all the stuff we came out with. They were just confused about it. And then Vox is like, my toss is on my card, always has been. And this type of commission is a special request, as in something I had prepped information for the initial request. Basically, Vox is just like, listen, I don't normally do this kind of shit. I am doing it because Ayumi is a friend, but even if it's a special request for a friend, you got to give me more room to work with, because I'm not a magician, basically. Evan's like, we're not trying to attack you. There's communication hurdles, which I agree. There have definitely been communication hurdles. And then Vox is like, I'm just re-explaining. I need more organization. Please and thank you. And Evelyn says, fine, we'll provide that. And Vox says, and this part I kind of liked. Vox says, I'm gonna be honest, you are both unprepared for this commission, and the more time we spent trying to flip about the details, the less time I have to work on it. I agree. I think I think that Vox is very correct to be upset for that reason. Like, you wasted all this time that for a deadline that you have set, and now I have less time to work with. So that's pretty frustrating, in my opinion. And Evelyn replies by saying, send that in the group chat. And the whole conversation continues on from there. Evelyn's like, oh, I'm also an artist too. I offer and still do commissions. I actually haven't seen Evelyn's commission, so I can't really talk about that. But Evelyn has worked for small indies. Oh, apparently Evelyn has worked for Cover. Cool. That doesn't mean that you can give the same, like, I don't feel like you can expect the same treatment. Like, if you can work really hard, Vox may work differently. I don't know. I think that, yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna not ramble on that. As Yumi says, I was puzzled
puzzled in the change of Hypa's tone. Hypa's tone changed because your work ethic.
No, yeah, the work ethic is really bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I would not now, we're gonna get into this later. I think Vox was kind of stupid for accepting this commission and working on this, because in my personal opinion, if I was an artist, I would have said, no, fuck you, go away, go find somebody else. I know I'm your friend, but I can't do this. Alright? So 4 months have been erased because the client decided to change everything from the material. No, so, again, you can scroll back up if you would like, but basically, they approached her 4 months prior, back in October. I think that's more like 6 months. Yeah, it's more like 6 months. And then nothing happens. Then they reapproach again and say, hey, let's set up a meeting to do this. And it just goes on from there. Like, if Vox had 6 months to work on this, I don't think she would have had any problems. They would have been it would have gone, it would have been done, it would have been great. But they waited. Sounds like they waited for BS reasons, in my opinion. Like, if you knew who you... Excuse me. If you knew who you wanted to go with, give them what they want. Or shut up. And so Ayumi says that she feels like Hypa developed animosity towards the manager, which I don't know, maybe. I would have been feeling a little more animus towards both of them. And she's like, I insist all further communication was in the group chat where she could see and respond as well. Would have been a problem if you were the only one talking. Just saying. And so communication, they moved the communication to the group chat, and the manager was like, okay. And then Ayumi is like, hey, can we talk to you? I feel like there's a miscommunication. Vox said, there isn't a miscommunication. I have requested multiple times for everything to be written down with details and specifications. This has not happened. This is what I need. This is what needs to happen. Refer to my TOS. And here's the prices. Evelyn's like, oh, we're not gonna have a meeting? And Vox is like, I'll do it Saturday, and move on towards that. So they have another meeting for April 13th. This meeting included the negotiation when it came to the prices, as well as a review of a commission deck my manager had prepared for this meeting. Ultimately, the final invoice looks as follows. Okay, so $1,350. I don't know where the extra couple $100 came from. That's probably a rush, or maybe it was a tip. I don't know. But $1,350 paid to Hypa Vox here. The minimum amount due was $200. Looks like they did a partial payment already on this. Great. And then the rest that is to be due at that time. Made the first down payment the same day. Most notably, the commission deck my manager provided and Hypavox reviewed with us agreed to receive a copy during this meeting included the following. So this is well, number one, it says confidential. I don't know why you're posting this as confidential, but you can't do anything about it since you posted it. Here's the request outline showing everything that they wanted. Again, third time that they are showing what they need after paying. Again, same. I'm from looking at this, it all assumes, I assume this all is the exact same stuff, but this is the third time they've had to redo it again. And down here they're putting in some guidelines, the silhouettes, these hearts, here's the colors that they're supposed to follow. Great, cool. Should have been communicated before you pay the money, but okay. And definition clarifications, non-disclosure, awesome. Deadline. All right, so the deadline is the end of May 2024. Requested assets are finalized 3 to 7 days prior to the debut. The debut date is the 17th and then the 24th. It is the 30th now, chat. I don't think that has happened. Note that the invoice shows exactly when and how much of the invoice was to be paid at the latest. Meanwhile, note that the deadline would be at the very latest May 21st, 2024. This was understood and agreed by Vox at the time. No further clarification was requested and no confusion was mentioned. Sorry, I need to get a drink of water. I need to take a rest from break here for a moment, just once I get a stopping point. Maybe after the first, well, after we finish the first doc, I'll take a restroom. I'll slow mo restroom break. What?
No.
Nothing.
Okay. Nothing.
I've been mentioned during this meeting and to my manager as well that she was undergoing a difficult situation with her family IRL, resulting in her being forced to move on/by May 1st. She told us she would most likely be able to finish every asset prior to her move. I have an issue with this that I'll get to in a moment, but basically Vox is like, I have to move. I'm being forced to move. I should still be able to finish. Vox, you should not have accepted this commission. With the time that you had, when did they meet? I want to scroll back up just to make sure I get the date right. April 13th was the meeting date, all right? When was it due? May 21st at the latest, all right? So I would not have taken that because not only do you have to rush a job that it sounds like she wouldn't be able to normally do. She's spending more time working on this, but now she's being forced to move for some private unknown reason. I would not have accepted this commission, all right? I would have just said, you know what? I'm sorry. Can't do it. The 21st is my birthday. Happy birthday, Cryo. But she says I should be able to finish it. Which again is going to come back to bite her. I'd originally not intended to commission Vox at this point anymore since she was visibly frustrated and stressed, and I wanted to avoid conflict. However, knowing the situation she was in, I felt supporting her friendly financially during a difficult time, and despite my manager's advice, I committed to this invoice. Okay, there's another issue. Ayumi should have not done the commission with her. Both of them made very critical mistakes there, because right there, Vox should have said I couldn't do it, and Ayumi should have said, you know what, you're right, you shouldn't be able to do it. And even the manager said this shouldn't happen. The doc could have stopped right here. Actually, there could have been no doc if either three of you would have been responsible adults saying, you know what, this doesn't seem like it's a good idea. Hell, it shouldn't have taken up till this point for all three of you to say, you know what, we shouldn't do it. It should have been like a couple months ago when Vox didn't get information where Vox is like, you know what, I can't do this if the time constraint is this close. Sorry, just can't do it. But, you know, they all decided, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make it happen. Here's information about Vox saying that she has to move. Awesome, cool, not really, but continuing on, taking into account both her having ADHD as well as her stressful IRL situation, my manager and I purposely did not send her excess reminders and trusted her to complete the commission as agreed. I feel it's, again, against your better judgment to do here, but okay. We wanted to give her room to breathe and to work on the project at her own pace, though this came back later. This came back to haunt us, as we felt we were responsible for her eventually missing the deadline due to a lack of reminders from us. Okay. Should not be your fault to remind. So here's something I will say, chat. And again, I'm not the master of all this. When you set a deadline with an artist, don't bother them. Period. All right? You should, one, expect that the artist is smart enough to actually meet the deadline. And if they're not, you get your money back if you agree to get your money back. But if not, like, if the artist doesn't meet it, okay, then you set another deadline and you actually get on them. But I don't know. I don't know. Fast forward to May 1st for the first round of whips since the issue and partially paid invoice. Awesome. So the channel name is the Graphics and Overlays. Awesome. So they start reminding and Vox starts giving things. All of this is censored, and then they ask for changes. Awesome, cool. And we all just have a bunch of censored images that we don't have. All of the updates in the commission were in the format of screenshots taken with Photoshop. In my personal opinion, is not an issue. In fact, I would say that when you're taking whips, take them in Photoshop, like do a screenshot, because then if the guy that you're commissioning hasn't paid fully, they can't really just run away with it, and you can very quickly point out that that's a screenshot. And watermark it. Artists, watermark your screenshots as well. Yeah. None of this is really that important. Basically just saying she didn't ask for feedback, and all that cool stuff. And she's like, are you guys happy? No feedback means that she loves it. Awesome, cool. And more whips start coming through. Though obscured, like most of the whips of the commission to hide my upcoming model design, note this is the last image, the model reveal graphic we had requested. So this is apparently the last whip image that they got from them for a while. Unlike normal model reveal graphic, it did not include a silhouetted version of the model that gets revealed as milestones are hit. At this point, we felt defeated by how much was going wrong with the commission, but knowing that model reveal graphics are not exactly in trend anymore, we felt it was not worth pursuing a revision. No. If you paid for it, pursue it. Oh my gosh. I have another lesson, chat, but I'm gonna wait till the end here. But don't do this. If it's not the way you want it, don't do this. Get it fixed. Yeah. The date is now May 19th. At this point, we'd already come to the terms with the fact that debut will need to be delayed, and then we will have to compromise some of the plans we had. However, I kept holding on to the belief that Hypa would deliver the assets within a reasonable time frame and communicate if things would be late. As was all assumed, regrettably, we did not hear from Hypa between this date and the last due date, and I asked my manager not to push Hypa for more frequent updates until I was more available again, as I was busy with an IRL commitment at this time and wanted to guarantee I'd be available fully once Hypa is confronted if necessary. Again, your manager shouldn't be involved in this. I mean, maybe now if you're not getting your commission, sure, but like your manager shouldn't have been involved in this. So here's the group messages. Hey, I need ETA on the delivery. Got an exact date. Originally, the latest due date was the 21st of May, and it's the 25th now. And here's where I start to get a little upset at Vox here. Vox is like, where do we write the due date? The only thing I have was by the end of May. And then they send a screenshot saying all of this stuff here. And then Vox is like, I'll get it to you. Yeah, I saw 3 to 7 days. 3 to 7 days prior to the debut that was scheduled for the 17th or May 24th. And then Vox is like, why didn't you ping me sooner? You know I have ADHD problems. Okay. Vox. That is not their job. It is not their... It is not the client's job to tell you what to do. If I said that to my boss, all right, chat, I work a delivery job, a very simple package delivery job. If I told my boss, hey boss, remind me when I have to actually go do my job, I would not have a job anymore, all right? Don't do this, all right? You have a phone, I assume. I don't know if Australians have phones. I'm going to assume you have a phone. You need to make reminders. You need to make things. There are calendars. Hell, you made a calendar for when you scheduled the meeting, all right? You couldn't even keep to that. You had to remake it a couple times. Why aren't you making reminders? It's not the client's job to remind you of all of this. either of you have anything else
Yeah,
to
but-
say?
Well, it's kind of their fault for not having a hard deadline. Not, either that sometime around this day or this day. It's like if you want to set a deadline, say by this day, not 3 to 7 days before this day or this day.
Well, I think
I would argue that even though they should have set a hard deadline, they're talking to her a day after that, and she's like, "Well, why didn't you remind me?" So she missed both deadlines when it was, if you actually read it, it was supposed to be before both deadlines.
yes.
So I have no sympathy for her on that, because I would argue.
I mean, I know I remind some artists that I work with if I don't have hard deadline on anything. I do check in once a month, and then they usually send me works in progress, and then within a month or two, then they give me my final product.
Well, see,
And
that's
it's I know I work with artists that have attention disorders and everything, and it's I know a lot of them do appreciate the reminders because it's life is hectic. Australia is a shithole right now with a lot of things, and I don't know what the family situation's like, but I don't even have a diagnosis for ADHD or anything, and I forget things 10 seconds after I'm told them.
Yeah, but it's
So
still her job, Lumi.
it's your Lumi.
I understand you're talking about something that's being nice, and I completely agree that is nice to have, but it is not required. She should be able to meet a deadline on her own without having the client constantly breathing down her neck.
And also
So the
the
fact that she
manager is
missed
both of their
both days?
managers.
Yeah, you don't need I don't want to Lumi, you wouldn't miss deadlines for things at work. Your boss would fire you.
I'm too good at my job. Even if I do miss things, they wouldn't fire me.
I mean,
But also,
fair, but the problem.
The manager is also both of their managers.
No,
She
she's
works with
not.
both
She
of
hasn't been Vox's manager in a while, according to messages.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! If you go to Vox's comments,
Which we'll get to, yeah.
on the thing. Let's see. Someone said, yeah, from their side of the story, I couldn't even tell Eve was supposed to be your manager as well, and Vox said neither could I.
I mean, it does mention that Eve was Vox's manager a couple of the times. So I don't know when Vox and Eve separate from actually being the manager. I believe Vox mentions that in hers. I am not too, again, I skimmed hers a little less because again, there's just so many pages. But
Yeah.
I would assume that up till maybe getting blocked that they were the manager.
Yeah, it's
Regardless.
I'm looking at another comment. It says, just to be sure, Eve was still acting as your manager until she was blocked. And even then, she didn't remind you that you had to deliver the commission to another client of hers on May 21st. And she said, yeah, she would hardly ever do so for anything.
Okay.
So she was still her acting manager until she was blocked.
Okay.
Again, that's something where I can be like, yes, Eve is just an idiot for not being a part of that. Still, though, there's genuinely no excuse for Hypa not being on this.
No.
There's literally a giant part of the document that says deadline, and she missed all three. Regardless of what date she picked from it, she missed every single one of them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because if you actually, I don't know why she didn't read this, but she could have asked for clarification, because she goes, well, all I really understood was the end of May. No, it's 3 to 7 days prior to the debut, and then it gives the debut date of 17th or 24th. A professional would have looked at that and said, okay, it needs to be done by May 10th. Way ahead of time, and she just did not get any of that.
Yeah, but it's just for the defense of Vox, if Eve was also her acting manager and has the time to, do whatever the hell, she could have just been like, hey, here's a reminder for this, because that's her job as a manager. To be honest.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
It is, but I still can't defend Vox on this. I think there's no excuse.
Yeah, I think the problem is I don't know how often Vox and Evelyn communicated outside of this message. Because it sounds like they didn't do it at all. Probably because, again, Eve and Ayumi felt like hostile, or Vox was being hostile towards them. So I don't know how much they communicated. If they chose not to communicate at all outside of this, that was their fault. But again, I feel like outside of a manager occasionally giving you reminders, like if you have to like it's at work, I know that my manager gives me reminders about special training that I will get in trouble with if I don't do. He'll do that like a couple of times, and then the day of. So yeah, maybe Evelyn could have given that. I still feel like Vox should have had the responsibility to make reminders for this kind of stuff. Because again, you're gonna get written up or fired from most jobs if you miss major deadlines for things that cost a lot of money. This is like $1,300 for something that was supposed to happen like a week before this conversation took place.
Yeah, again, the issue is there's a difference between what is nice to do and what is required to do. It would be nice to remind Vox, but it is not required. It was required of Vox to remember on their own, which they could not do.
Pretty much. I don't know.
I'm sorry, that's just not acceptable.
Yeah, if you can't make reminders for things, like I forget things all the fucking time. I have to make reminders for many different appointments. And maybe that's just part of being an adult, that I forget things. But I write them all down, and then they happen. If I don't write it down, it doesn't happen. Alright? I have to make a reminder to get my laundry, because I'll forget that the laundry is in the dryer. Alright? There's no excuse that a fully grown adult that lives on their own, or that is, at the very least, living in a capacity to take care of themselves, should not be able to make down reminders for this. Alright? And I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm going hard on Vox. I've been going kind of hard on Ayumi, and now it's kind of Vox's turn a little bit, but, like, she missed the deadline. At that point, I would have been like, you deliver or you give me my money back. I don't know. You guys have anything else to say before we move on?
No, that was it.
No.
Okay. And so Ayumi's like, we've tried to get the assets on this, and Evelyn's like, I don't know about how you handle your commercials or workflow, but if you need extra reminders, then you have to tell us that. It's not our place to assume that you will forget the deadline you agreed to. Again, I agree. And then Vox is like, I've told you several times now, on our most recent meeting, I told you my initial onboarding, I told you about my issues with memory and stuff. Look, it's final, get it done. I would have liked more communication, but again, it's not really their job. I have a lot of projects that I will sometimes commission. I don't remind all of my artists. I will remind them if they have a deadline, because I have deadlines written for all of the artists that I have commissions for. Most of them I don't give a deadline, because it's not that important to get done. But, again, it's not my job. And you should be making reminders. Sorry.
We covered this.
So they continue saying, what is the most realistic ETA? I need to know as soon as possible. Looks like that was sent 30 minutes later. The last of it will be done over the weekend. Awesome. And then there is just some more rambling about logo artists. They need permission and all that kind of stuff. They don't need to. Awesome. Cool. No, and then we move down. And we continue going through.
If you want to scroll back up really quick again, because this is sort of another complaint I have with Vox, where they end up stalling again, and they immediately go, who's the logo artist? They tell them, I need his permission to edit the work. It's like, no, you're only slightly stylizing it.
Technically, depending on the artist's TOS, or if the person has full rights to it, you do gotta ask.
Well, here's the thing, and I've brought this up before, and we'll bring this up later.
You don't believe in TOS or
No, it's
anything.
not that I don't believe in TOS. They literally are not legally binding. Artists, stop holding up your TOS as the gospel. They are literally not worth the paper they're not even printed on, because all of you just put them on like a blog post. I'm sorry, that is just legally the reality of it. And if somebody buys full rights to something, full rights means full rights.
No, yeah,
they
I
can
agree.
Like, there are minor things you can do with like preventing reselling of it. But first off, you can't present prevent like reselling the rights to it. You can prevent reproduction of it and all this other stuff. But that's kind of an issue that immediately comes up here with this. Well, I need his permission to edit it. Well, no, you don't, because I have full rights to this. This is my thing. I'm asking you to make slight adjustments so it fits into this new thing.
And this should have been asked during the first meeting when the assets were sent. Like, if you wanted to ask this day one saying, oh, is it okay if I make edits to this? That's fine. Making this kind of conversation now is way too late. I'm sorry. At this point, if they say do it, do it.
Yeah, the big issue is that she brings this up now, and you're already late. So you don't really have time to be like, okay, well, let's sort this all out. You have to trust the person you commissioned, or that's commissioning you, to already have that sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, I could, like with, like just because we were talking about TOS, I think I now understand why a lot of artists, when they do send you an invoice, their TOS is on that invoice, because then if you have to dispute with whoever or whatever, or, you know, have words, I forget them. But anyways, if anything happens, PayPal will side with you. So artists
not necessarily
and,
true.
I think it depends.
I've seen a lot of things. If it's through invoice and your TOS is on there, most of the time PayPal will keep someone from refunding you.
It is completely random, and it depends entirely on other stuff. Because you can't just prevent a refund in many cases. A lot of times it depends on country what's required to be given back. So it's really just people that probably have their country has stricter legal requirements, and PayPal sees where the money is coming from, and that's what they adjust it based on. Including a TOS in your invoice is not helping you. It is almost
it's
100%
better than
country.
It's better than a separate website where it's like, oh, well, it wasn't there. It's like, no, it was on your invoice.
Arguably, legally, in order for something to be a contract, you have to physically sign it or confirm directly that you have seen it. You can't just include it on an invoice.
I would think that electronic signing is workable too, but yeah.
Electronic signing still requires you to like enter in your full name in a space that says I acknowledge that I agree to this, which artists never include.
Which they should.
Well, there's not many ways to do it.
VTubers in privacy and whatever, but your artist can see your name through your PayPal.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway.
Even if it's business.
Good point to bring up, Mizu, about that. Is like, why are you stalling? No more stalling. Get it done. Again, this is the 25th, chat. Today's the 30th, the day that we're doing the stream. This is 5 days ago. It's crazy. Ayumi's like, listen, for future reference, I own everything. Don't ask about anything else. And then Vox is like, all right, I will finish it up. I'll be able to send the assets over once the final payment is made. And then Evelyn is like, I'm not sure I follow. We agreed to the last payment is due by June 1st. Why withhold the assets? And then Vox is like, we agreed to be paid by June 1st. Yes, that can mean from now until then. I don't generally release finished assets until the payments are completed. Okay. I don't understand this. This is something that, like, is really hurting Vox here. Vox, I understand that is when you are going to be paid by. The assets were needed before that. What was going to happen when you're like, hey, the assets are done on the... Like, if you got these done on the 14th...
On the actual day.
And you're like, oh, we have to wait until the 1st? Are they just up shit creek because that's when the payment... Excuse me. The payment was planned? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, artists, you can't agree on a due date and a separate payment date that's in the future and then say, well, actually, I don't give assets until it's fully paid. So based on your conversations, Vox, you have broken your own, like, verbal contract with them about a dozen times already, which is why it's really hard for me to side with you, even though I think they're both being sketchy.
I agree. I'm having trouble parsing any argument on order of the artist retaining ownership of creation. So when it comes, are you just talking in general, or are you talking here? Because in general, when it comes to the ownership of creations,
We probably should not get into that. That would be an hour-long conversation.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Chat
yeah,
is partially in agreement with the artist. However, there's certain things an artist cannot retain ownership over, depending on what you already own.
Pretty much. Like, if it's my IP...
A lot of artists seem to think, yeah, your IP, your intellectual property. A lot of artists seem to have this weird idea that if they do a poster for you, they could resell that, which is not true. If it's of your IP, they can't just resell it.
No,
because they don't own the IP. You have to own both.
And I would DM if I had an artist work on something for me and then they sold that image, they would immediately get DMCA'd if they refuse to take it down, because they cannot do that. But yeah, well, that's just a side note. So the conversation continues where Vox is like, we agree to be paid by the first. That can mean from now until then I don't release finished assets. And then Evelyn's like, you agreed to provide Ayumi with her assets by the time her debut came around, and agreed to her being able to pay until June 1st. What you generally do or don't doesn't apply, question mark, exclamation point. You agreed to these terms. And hypavox says, I've been strongly advised not to hand over finished work until I'm paid. I am agreed to the payment being made in installments. And then Evelyn's like, based off of what? And then they go over, they have screenshots of this. And then Vox is like, yes, the payment plan, that is what I agreed to. And Ayumi's like, I can have the payment made today. And then Vox is like, all good, the last of the work I'm finishing up now and can send you over after I've slept. It's 7 a.m. and I've been working since our conversation yesterday morning. And Evelyn said, you yourself wrote in the invoice that you agreed to our due dates and the payment dates and increments. I don't understand why you're going back on that. And then the seller's terms and conditions, client has agreed to my toss. Client has reviewed and agreed to the prices listed. Client has agreed to make the following payments. Client is aware of the current circumstances of the artist and how it may impact the work's completion. Client and artist have discussed the due date and other details as outlined in the document. Commercial rights are included. And then Vox is like, I'm not. The payments have been made in increments. It doesn't say anything about releasing the work before the final payment. Ayumi says she can make the payment today, so there's no issue. Ayumi says, doesn't matter now, you are fully paid. So between now, here and here, the payment is made. And Evelyn's like, you agreed to our due dates. How could you possibly fill out her due date? See, I don't feel like the manager should continue arguing. Like, if Ayumi says, I paid you, it should be like, give me the stuff. And then it should be done from there. No more jibber jabber. And following from the exchange, I paid Hypa's invoice in full. I have not been late on any payment up to this point, and this can be seen in the following screenshots. And they give payment statements here. Awesome. Great. And then they show the full payment statements here as well. And then Hypa says, I'll send the files when I wake up. I need to sleep. And then Hypa leaves the group. Hypa sent me a zip containing her work up to this point, including a number of assets I never received prior work in progress / images of. Presumably, this was because she rushed finishing the commission in a 19-hour-long spurt, which she later publicly vented about on Twitter. And this is the tweet saying, so tired, 19 hours of work, is it bedtime yet? Due to a separate dispute with my manager and her working relationship not working out. Okay, so this probably mentions why they aren't manager and client anymore. She had blocked my manager prior to leaving the group chat, making her unable to communicate with her on Discord anymore. She did this as my manager was typing a message in the group chat in which we had communicated up until this point. My manager informed of what happened as it happened and reviewed the assets on my behalf, identifying a lot of issues and put together a document requesting numerous revisions. I sent this message in the document requesting revisions to Hypa directly since my manager could not. And I don't know why she takes a phone screenshot of this. I don't understand that, why it couldn't just be on the computer, but it's whatever. And then Ayumi says, since you blocked and communicated with my manager, once again, all things were discussed between her and I before this was written and agreed upon. Regrettably, there are a lot of things you need to adjust on the assets. Please reference the PDF attached below for the exact description and visual references. We're missing the fourth Twitter pinned panel. After we discuss the situation with Ayumi in depth, we're proposing you to do the following options to sort this out. Finalize the requested revisions and deliver the assets by June 1st. Refund Ayumi the third payment of $350. You carry the fees by June 1st and send us the PSDs for every asset within 24 hours so that we may revise the assets ourselves. Or refund Ayumi the entire commission by June 1st as per your TOS. We will not ever use these assets in any capacity, and you will not utilize them yourself unless you first fully remove Ayumi's IP from every asset. Please let us know how you would like to proceed within 24 hours so that we may accommodate for your choice. By the way, when was this sent? May 26th. So this was 4 days ago. All right. Additionally, this commission and its contents are under confidentiality agreed to. However, we raise to suspect that you have been sharing parts of this commission, including but not limited to communication, payment details, and the assets or visual thereof to unauthorized and uninvolved third parties. Kindly cease sharing any content of this commission unless mutually in writing and otherwise agreed upon. I don't know if they ever I don't think they ever show proof of that, so I don't know why they make that accusation. She doesn't. I don't think she ever really talks about that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna need like a couple minutes break here after we're done with this. Vox replies saying, "I'm sorry, but I have no interest in working with either of you at this point. My terms state in the case I am unable to work on a commission, aka start or completion is impossible. I will refund. It is not the case. I had provided the completed commission. The fourth panel is either your model reference sheet or your weekly times, neither of which I was provided. So I assumed you would post the concept sheet yourself. I was also happy to make the fourth panel once you knew your scheduled live days. I do not offer full refunds. I am not obligated to refund your work done. I've spent my entire night with no sleep for 19 hours straight to get the work done, and to you to make up for the fact it was late. So I'm sorry, but I'm declining your request as well with my rights to do so. We will be parting ways here. Thank you for consideration to work with me. However, I know if you longer feel comfortable doing so." That's not really how that works.
This up. First off, that it's not your right to do so. You admitted that some of it's uncompleted. You admitted that you refuse to fix the stuff that is not finished or not done correctly. Which again, they have not actually. Nobody will tell me exactly what's not done correctly, neither side. So that's whatever, I guess. But just like I guess it's technically your legal right to deny a refund, but it is also someone else's legal right to issue a chargeback, which they did.
Which they did. Yes. Let's see here.
There's also just a lot of stuff in there that we don't really have to get into, because I think everybody can see like just how sketchy it sounds. You know, like a lot. We kind of covered over like a lot of it, but it's just the well, I'm telling you how it is, so you just have to accept it kind of thing. That's not how it works when you work with a client. You can't just be like, "Oh yeah, no, I decided this. Bye."
It could get you in legal trouble as well. Like, obviously, separate countries, like $1,000, you're gonna have to fucking get over it, I guess, if you lost that much money. But like, people have sued for way less. I'm just saying.
Yeah. When you admit though that you are refusing to complete work, you are legally required to offer some level of refund.
Yes.
Typically the way the court does it is it says an agreed upon amount for the work that was not finished, which if everything is genuinely finished correctly, I would say half might be a little too much.
Yes.
But you are required to discuss with them what the refund amount should look like and why you chose the specific amount.
By the way, it is very expensive for a court to make that determination, because you have multiple hours being spent by not one, not two, but multiple people. Hell, if it ever went that far, maybe even a jury that has to get together, look at your itemized list, determine if any of it's finished. Maybe you get an expert in there. What I'm saying is, you guys are both being fucking dumb. Just like, both sides are being dumb. But Vox, like, holy fuck. You should be glad you don't live in the US or wherever Ayumi lives, because that would, like, open you up.
It's probably worse in Australia, to be honest.
Probably, I don't know. Vox adds on, or this ad is on here, where Vox says, "I know you're both assuming my intent is to post all this publicly, but that's not my intention. I want to move on and go our separate ways. Thanks for your time. If you're at any point unhappy with the assets, I would suggest not reacting with a simple check mark and having Eve tell me your silence means you're happy. Should have spoken up, and that's on you." I don't know.
So on one point, I can agree with that. However, on the other point, she's never sent like full assets. She's always sent screenshots.
Well, we don't know,
like,
so. But yeah.
Because all you can see, none of those are even just the picture themselves being sent. They're always screenshots of whatever program she's using. We're just gonna say Photoshop. I don't care what program it is. It's always just Photoshop screenshots instead of like a picture of the actual work. So they didn't have time to like look at the work itself.
You keep talking. I'm gonna use the restroom. I can't hold it no more. Be right back.
Akko goes pee. Do you have any thoughts, Lumi?
I would actually like to see the fucking assets, because how can anyone say, "Oh, this looks good," or "Wow, this looks like shit," without seeing anything? It's like, at this point, if you're gonna bitch about it, please show people. I don't care if it's, "Oh, it's my secret debut stuff. Oh my god, what if they see?" It's like, no. If you're throwing this much of a fucking bitch fit, show the assets, because you're gonna show them anyway in the next couple days.
See, I want that when it's not there on screen anymore, but a little further up where you saw they sent them a PDF that said like confidential PDF, and they said it included all the changes they needed made.
Yeah.
I want to see that because I messaged Vox and asked, did they ever? I'll actually read my side. I won't read their side because I don't like sharing DMs, but I'll read my side so I'm not misquoting myself.
Yeah.
Wanted to know the specific state of completion of the project. Example, what is being claimed as unfinished, why they are claiming that, can you shed any light on that issue, or is everything you wanted to say about it already in your own document? And they basically said that they didn't know why they were claiming it was unfinished, and the only one who could tell us why it was unfinished was Ayumi. But there is a PDF in there. So, like, I'm assuming that PDF says why they think it's unfinished, because that's what they're claiming it says in their messages with you. I want to see that PDF.
Me too. Me too.
And I think it's a little bit sus that you told me they never told you, but you do have that PDF.
Well, it's like, who knows? It's like, it could be complete, like, it could be finished and really good on Vox's side, but then they could be completely nitpicky about it. So, unless...
They have a link to that PDF?
Wait, really? Do they? Hold on.
I don't remember seeing this earlier.
Where?
Have a link to the PDF at the very bottom. Necessary revisions. We are missing the 4th Twitter pinned panel. Heard about that. The logo on the Twitch banner, YouTube banner, gaming overlay, and just chatting overlay is not the logo you stylized like we requested that you use. We had previously pointed this out and you agreed to this. 3, the model reveal graphic is not a model reveal graphic, but instead a model showcase. A VTuber model reveal graphic includes an obfuscated VTuber model that progressively gets revealed as certain social media engagement milestones are hit. Please reference the below post. You utilize Ayumi asset, which we provided you with the VRC overlay. Similarly, you utilized the active armor asset on the Twitter banner. You were made aware of and agreed that you would not use these assets in this manner well in advance of the final delivery. You invoiced us for 3 individual intermission screens, yet they are all identical except for the animated text, pause, ending, starting. To be fair, that is kind of a thing. I think a good artist would probably have a cheaper price for that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But most artists would consider those 3 separate screens. But typically they would sell them as a package deal, and it would be cheaper than having literally 3 separate screens. But that's a nitpick.
Yeah.
Additionally, the hearts are animated in the bottom right of the intermission screens, utilize both the wrong heart shape and move inconsistently, resulting in an undesirable visual, which is fair. The decorative element, consisting of alternating slanted dark and light gray lines, is too drastically inconsistent between the different assets. Inconsistencies can be identified in, among other things, the width of the lines, the brightness, the shading, the glow of adjacent elements overlapping, and then it includes a bunch of little examples of it, which it's hard to see, but I kind of agree with them, maybe? But I mean, they don't have to be exactly the same each time. I don't know. Maybe that's just a me thing.
These don't show fulls of anything, though. I want to see the full thing.
I do too. I definitely agree.
Miscellaneously, the following screenshots showcase a variety of visual fidelity issues on a variety of assets. Please properly review your work for this as well, and that shows a couple of pictures. 8, the YouTube banner is only utilizing what is colloquially known. Fuck it. Only utilizing what is known as the desktop safe area. I hate that word. Wait, what? The desktop safe area? Please fill out the white space with visually consistent background elements. Do they just mean the part of the desktop that doesn't include the taskbar? Note that we have showcased a number of examples showcasing specific issues. We may not have showcased every single example of the above issues. Please make sure to thoroughly review your work before sending us the revised assets, taking into account all of the above. Additionally, please re-review the slideshow we had previously provided you with and reviewed together with you during a VoIP meeting on April 13th. Note that all times and/or dates shown in any relevant screenshots in this document are also in GMT+2 in the month, day, year format.
Cool. So those are just the revisions.
Yeah, no, I would agree. There are, assuming everything they're saying is the truth, there are a lot of things in here that do need to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it could be down to misunderstanding, like the model reveal graphic. You could genuinely find somebody that could confuse a model reveal with a model showcase because they could technically mean the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that is still something that probably should have been better clarified.
Always.
The logo thing is a genuine issue. If they actually did tell them not to use it.
Mm-hmm.
If they told them not to use these Ayumi assets, again, that's an issue. I would say that the different size lines could or could not be an issue. I would have to see the full things. Because every single page does not have to have them exactly the same, depending on what the page is for. But a lot of it, is probably legitimate criticism.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, let's move back to the doc here really quick. All right, so...
Oh, did we get rated into
did
the
we?
podcast?
Why? No, did we?
Maybe not. I just see Jazz is in the chat spamming it with
I think I was rated on Twitch. I don't have notifications on, but thank you for the raid over there on Twitch. Let me make sure I give you let me pull up Twitch so I make sure I give you a proper thank you. Thank you for the raid, Jazz. I appreciate you. We are doing our podcast right now, but welcome. If you want, go over to YouTube at Underthetea if you're interested in seeing it on YouTube. All right. Anyway, so it is the last bit of the document here that we're going to go over. Then we'll open up Vox's. Like I said, I did skim through a lot of it. A lot of the stuff that Vox talks about is the same. So thankfully, we're not going to be sitting through it as long as we sat through this one, even though it is longer. But there is going to be some stuff that we'll have to slow down with. So, as Ayumi says here, she blocked me as well. So Vox blocks Ayumi after this message here. She blocks Ayumi, leaving her with no choice but to file a PayPal dispute with her, as the assets were not in a usable state. Which, if they were not in a usable state, I get that. I would probably do that as well. I mean, I would probably say, listen, they already did leave the ultimatum saying, if you don't fix this, we're going for a PayPal refund. This is not a matter of taste, and I was dissatisfied. It is objectively rushed work that she now refused to do revisions for. Meanwhile, she intends to keep the full amount I paid her. Additionally, one of the assets was missing from the .zip she sent. She argued she did not have the information needed, but never told us, excuse me, prior to this, and though she claims she is happy to make it if we give her what she needs, that seemed implausible considering the only place she has not blocked me yet is on Twitter. I made the decision to pursue a PayPal chargeback for half of the commission's value. I feel like I'm entitled to the full amount being refunded since I do not have any use for these assets, as they met neither of my requirements, directions, or quality standards. Requested a refund for 50% of the commission's total value, as I still felt obligated to compensate her at least partially for the hours she did put in this commission, as well as give my genuine compassion for her IRL circumstances. Personally, if it's related to business, I would leave that last bit out. Just be like, hey, she put hours into it, fine. I don't care about the last bit. I just care about the fact that she did put work into it. Following PayPal dispute conversation before it was escalated to PayPal to determine whether or not my request for refund is valid. This is on the 26th. Again, well, now I guess it's 5 days earlier. This is on the 26th. It is now the 31st. Latest delivery due date that was mutually agreed upon. The seller missed without communication. The seller has not delivered all the items paid for and violates their own TOS by refusing to offer me revisions. And they asked for the revisions, and I am not sure what this is. And then Hypa responds, which is cool. I didn't know you could actually talk through PayPal like this. That's kind of cool. All items were sent to the recipient, as provided a screenshot of complete work, and the client being sent the files, as well as them finalizing the payment for the items. Due to conflicts, I have expressed my rights through my TOS that they have agreed to, that I, the artist, have the right to cancel a commission, which I have done so as I no longer feel comfortable working with this client due to mistreatment. I believe these refunds are being issued in retaliation and out of malice. The client also agrees to my TOS that states I do not issue refunds. I will only issue a refund.
Also, I will clarify. First off, it doesn't matter if the client tries to get a refund out of malice if they have a legitimate claim to the refund. And they do have a legitimate claim to the refund. You can't say, I refuse to work with them and I refuse the refund.
I
you
agree.
get one or the other.
I agree.
Either work with them and you keep the money, or don't work with them and refund the money.
I agree. I agree.
It's just so annoying. It's one of those, like, small pet peeve things with artists. Like, you are not the end-all be-all of your own little business. There are still rules you have to follow that are outside of your scope.
I agree. All of this continues on.
I hate it.
No, I'm in full agreement with you. I think that if like this doesn't work. It doesn't work. All right. Ayumi continues saying talking about all of this stuff, basically reiterating what was already said through PayPal already, and then Hypa responds again reiterating what was already stated. Makes me deeply uncomfortable that I have to go down this level of playing he said, she said, and trying to gotcha each other with screenshots, proving one is right, but the PayPal dispute system unfortunately doesn't allow me to do much else anymore. As I await PayPal's decision on this matter, hypavox has made false and exaggerated claims about the situation, and it doesn't say the date, but well, I mean, we could click on it, but this is hypavox saying, I'm so done being robbed over $1,000 when I busted my ass working for someone. It's not how I wanted the day to go. Artists are better. And then hypavox posted this, which we have already shown, and it shows all of this stuff already. And this is more tweets from Vox. You have the work, you have the files. They don't have the completed files, according to them. I told you I don't feel comfortable working for you anymore, so leave me alone. Charging back the funds because I enforced my TOS is heartless after the crap you put me through. You know I need the money, but you don't care. Stop lying. If you could not do the commission, you should not have taken it. I told you I wasn't going to speak up. I was happy to go our separate ways. Once the work was done, I was done with you and your behavior months ago. But stuck it out because I needed the funds desperately. That's not how you... No. Don't do that. If you persist, I can and will speak up. I have everything and I am not afraid. And people respond saying what happened, and then them talking through all this stuff. Note that I messaged Hypa on Twitter. She has not blocked me, making her aware of my decision to issue a chargeback, and she refused to pursue an amicable solution. And they talk about how the chargeback is going to happen. Bottom line is, at this point, this is my livelihood. I am delaying a huge investment coming to fruition, delaying the streaming in general as well because of the sheer amount of stress and frustration this has caused me. She's moved on to making vague threats of how she will expose my manager and me, and displaying it, though I am charging her back for the entire commission's value. For her own TOS, I am entitled to at least 50% refund when the artist is unable to fulfill the commission, actively refusing to finish the commission by providing me with everything I was ordered, as well as refusing revisions she usually offers in her TOS constitutes her not finishing the commission. Meanwhile, she keeps arguing how she was in her rights, and according to her TOS, canceling this commission as she is uncomfortable with working us, but is not properly finished yet. She insists... Okay, saying the same thing over and over again.
I would also like to point out, chat, because somebody in chat already mentioned it, but the fact that she is not completing the commission, and the commission is a package deal, in many countries that legally entitles them to a 100% refund. Because imagine, like, you hired somebody to come build, like, your deck at your house.
Or house, just in general.
Like, yeah, they placed, like, 1/4 of the boards and then said, okay, we're done. No court would be like, well, you gotta pay for that 1/4. They would point out, like, no, you were paid to do a completed job. The only reason you were paid is because the job in its entirety is what the customer wanted. Since you could not provide it in its entirety, you have technically not provided the customer anything.
No. Yeah.
Because now they're going to have to pay to get what you put down removed.
Exactly.
That's another thing. Some courts will pay to have you refund them. Like, if this wouldn't count for them, but if this was like HoloLive or Nijisanji or any big company, and they had like a big group debut going on, you could actually be charged lost revenue for missing that date. Yeah. You would have to fully refund them and pay them extra because you messed up the day.
Pretty much. It's
So artist, be careful. You don't all know your rights just because you wrote a TOS that somebody on DeviantArt told you to write.
Yeah, TOS is most of the times just not enforceable. It's kind of why I want to talk to Legal Mindset about some of this stuff. Just like a lawyer will not agree with this at all because nobody signed anything.
Be a lawyer somewhere that will.
Well, okay.
The whole point of lawyers is you can get a lawyer to argue either way.
A good lawyer will tell you this is not enforceable. You will lose in court.
Nah, a good lawyer will find a way to get you off it.
Fair, but what I'm trying to say is,
don't get too into the weeds, Zako. Again.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that like this is
never speak
bad.
Uncertainties.
And the last few screenshots here are
her TOS.
Their TOS.
Which artist, do not put a thing in your TOS that says refunds are generally not accepted. It is not. It's again not your choice whether or not something gets refunded. There's legal requirements to refunds in almost every country on Earth, and the fact you included generally instead of saying no refunds makes you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
You would genuinely be better off just saying no refunds ever.
Pretty much,
like,
and
legally speaking, you would be better off.
Like IRL, I know it's a business by business thing, but generally, like, if I go to the store and buy spoiled food, I get a refund. I've had to do that before. Like, the only time that this won't happen is if you get food, like you're at a restaurant, you eat something, and then you ask for a refund. It's not gonna happen, all right? But like, for works like this, if it's not to the degree that excuse me, I should say, if it's not to a reasonable degree, the customer has the right to either have it fixed or have their money back. Doesn't matter if you put work into it. If you didn't put the work into it that was reasonable enough, you should probably get a refund. But yeah.
This whole thing was just bad.
No, yeah, this whole thing was just bad. And, like, you know, Ayumi says, I had no intention of making this public. Personally, I don't even think you should have made this public in the first place. But it's content, so thank you. So I was like, all I wanted them to do is get fixed. I firmly don't believe my manager are ever disrespectful or rude. I disagree. I think that that's wrong. But, yeah.
Yeah, again, chat, we're going hard on the artist because the artist did something that legally could be suspect. But the manager and the VTuber are also just idiots that were not helping the situation and not making things any better at any point in this. Again, this is where I could side with Lumi. They could have been doing all those nice things that made like their life way easier, and they just chose not to.
Yeah. Work cannot be completed kind of settles it. She admitted not being unable to complete the work and running off. No, yeah, I agree. I agree. Like, I don't care what you're...
That was a horrible thing for her to say, and to put it in writing.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care what your situation is. You do the job. All right? Do the job. Or you're not gonna get paid. Or they're gonna come after you. One or the other is gonna happen. So, this comes out on the 27th. All right? 4 days ago. All right, at this point. And right after that, hypavox decides to say, nice to see how much you left out. I'll fix that for you. So Vox is like, all right, I'm going to make a response. This is something I just thought of. This is 4 days ago, all right? Vox spent all this time not getting this commission done. But you know what she had time to do? Put together, like, 71 pages. Oh, how many pages is this? Like, 70 pages.
It's 70.
70 pages of a response, all right? That's time you could have been spent towards working towards other things. Alright? And now you have to respond or some kind of that shit. But like, why did...
I'd
I don't know.
also point out, chat, Vox's has a lot more like specifically writing in it than it has screenshots, unlike Ayumi's. Which means it's more than just like collecting screenshots. She wrote a thesis.
Yes. She wrote a thesis. Here, I'm just gonna show it now. They have the entire outline of everything, the debut commission, all this stuff. Then there's stuff about just their manager. There's a whole lot of stuff here, and we're not gonna go through all of this again because we've been at this for 2 hours already. All right, we're gonna try and get through most of this here. But I feel like most of our points have been made already. I just want to run through this just to make sure that we're fair and cover anything that Vox feels like was left out. And again, if you want to read any of this stuff, copies of both of these are in our Discord that you can read at any point. so that you can make any determinations. Maybe you think we're wrong. Maybe you think we're stupid. I don't think I'm stupid. But if you want more context, or if you want to read more, all of these screenshots yourself, they're in the Discord. Join the Discord. Mod, post the Discord if you could in the chat. Yeah. I'm surprised you guys didn't have a text-to-speech program to read it. Maybe
that would take even longer.
It would take so much longer because text-to-speech is slow.
Text-to-speeches are so slow.
So slow.
And you have to baby them. You can't just... I listened to one of those reading Reddit videos the other day that used a text-to-speech that sounded surprisingly human. I will give them that. It fooled me. Until they got to one specific story where they pronounced every single word wrong for 2 minutes straight. Like basic words like me, the text-to-speech bot was going tahu, ma, and I was like, fucking what?
Yeah, we ain't doing that no more.
You really do. If you want to have a good text-to-speech bot, you have to baby it and tell it how to pronounce things. Mm-hmm. We're not doing all that for this. We'll just read it ourselves.
No, yeah. All right, so this document details my experience with Ayumi and our manager working with her live to debut commission. Edits have been made. One image now has a censored link, probably one that showed off assets that we cannot see. Although I did look through some of this, she does show off more than Ayumi does, which is cool, I guess. But I still think it's dumb that we can't see the quote-unquote unfinished stuff. Show the unfinished stuff, please. Let the court of public opinion make their opinion. So, TLDR, I was contacted in September 2023 and was given a debut goal of April 2024. Despite requesting multiple times over the months up until May, I would not receive any references for the commission until April 13th. I was given until mid-May to complete 3 months worth of work. So, Vox is saying this is like 3 months worth of work condensed down to a month. Again, I don't know anything about that, but that does sound like a lot of work to get done in 1 month. I was mistreated by both Ayumi and our manager, Eva, during this time. There's a lack of communication and preparation on their end, which there was, which caused a lot of complications to the commission. Despite my best work to get everything completed, upon receiving it, Ayumi has opted to force a refund of half the commission fee, ignoring my TOS that she agreed to and requested provisions she otherwise failed to notify me of, despite seeing the work before it was sent. It was at this point I had made the decision it was no longer healthy or possible to continue working with Ayumi or Eve, and had left the services of both parties. Below is a timeline of the events. And again, a lot of this is stuff that we have already gone over, but we'll just go over it again quickly again. September is when they reached out for the commission. October is when they remind them of the request. November, oh wow. Thank you for pointing this out, Vox. So in November, Vox was not this manager's talent before this, way before this. So in November, Eve becomes Vox's manager. Honestly curious about why. And January to April, she continues asking and nothing is given. And she claims that there's mismanagement and a lack of care from Eve. And attempting to leave Eve's service twice due to dissatisfaction of services and breach of contract. Again, I want to talk about the manager really quickly before we're done here tonight, chat. April, multiple discussions back and forth over the commission. April 13th, a solid decision would be made about pricing. The 13th to May 25th, I begin work on the commission, being given less than a month to complete the work and expected to deliver by May 21st. Okay, so she does say, hey, this is when it was expected to be delivered. That doesn't help you, Vox, here, alright? Just saying. May 26th, I would finalize the work under the impression that Ayumi was happy with the work, which I don't understand because you sent everything without first out. See, that's the problem I have. She would rush the rest of this work and then send it and then run away. You didn't make sure that Ayumi was happy. You just shot it out of a cannon and hoped that it would hit. Ayumi requests a refund, and then Ayumi makes a public post on the 27th. I need more water. Oh, chat, you still with us? Are you both still with me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Again, we're not going to read through all of this again because there's a lot of stuff we've already gone through. She does give a little bit more information about before the actual first meetings. My initial discussion with Ayumi's debut package was originally around September 2023, but I wasn't given details/references until April 13th. excuse me. So I only had from until May 21st to work on it. So yeah, they it's September. The first talk of a commission was through a voice call. Okay, so this is something that Ayumi didn't mention, that in September there was a voice call talking about this happening. And they expressed their interest in having a bunch of different graphics, and Vox agreed to it basically. But Vox required a written document outlining all the details, specifics, references, and all that kind of stuff. And this included, this would be all of the things that she was looking for. Now she says here, I don't take on or make commissions my focus and only do them upon request if they interest me. So this was basically a friend request kind of thing. My main focus is my own project in VTubing. Most of the commissions I receive are illustrations. This was the first time I've been commissioned for a graphics package. Oh my goodness. Wow. Ayumi, just rant for a moment here. Vox is the wrong person to go to for this kind of thing. Like, I know you're friends. I know, like, that you guys are all cool and all that kind of shit. If Vox doesn't normally do this stuff, they're the wrong person to go to for an expensive thing, alright? I don't get this. That's a bad idea. Especially if she doesn't normally take commissions. Now, Vox, you should have not taken this, alright? I know you're probably trying to be friendly, but you shouldn't have taken this. But she says, made sure that they both were aware and of this, both in the initial discussion and discussions afterwards. And the call went well, they'll get to me soon, and then nothing happens. And then in October, they made another request for a document. They'd be informed later down the line they were unable to provide it due to waiting on other assets. This should not, however, have affected the ability to provide the document I had requested, as assets could be sent later. It was the details I was after. I'd assumed they had things ready or at least something prepared back in September. I had no idea I'd be waiting until April through May. If I had known, I would never accepted this commission in the first place. You should have not accepted it back when they told you to wait. Fast forward to March. After the new year, I had not heard much regarding the commission since September. I had been waiting to send me the details. They initially told me she wanted to debut in April, May, and since it was already March, I was growing concerned. Eve responded seemingly having completely forgotten about the document, which I'm willing to bet they probably just forgot that they were just going to have them commission. Like, okay, this is my headcanon. They forgot that they were going to commission her. Like, they were like, okay, we'll get back to you. And then nothing happens. And then, oh, shoot, we need to get this thing done. What do we forgot we were going to ask them about it. Let's go back to them. That's my headcanon. It's probably wrong. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking happened. And so Vox
Well, here's my thing.
Yes.
I understand like why they might be putting all this extra information, but a lot of it genuinely does not matter.
I mean, I'm in agreement.
In order to help her case, because like this is basically adding a whole bunch of backstory about like a world that we don't really need to know about. Because it's like, yeah, okay, you don't normally do this, but you accepted the commission anyways. Why did you accept it?
No, I agree. I agree.
Okay, you're worried about the due date, but you agreed to the due date anyways. It doesn't matter that you're concerned about these things, Vox. You still accepted it knowing that those were concerns.
Mm-hmm.
That is not good look for you.
No, I agree. I agree. It shows either that you gambled way too hard on something, or you just were like so reckless with your own time and your own management that like seeing this.
I don't want to be malicious about it, but there are a lot of times where Vox says stuff that it makes it sound like she only accepted it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a good look. Never accept something just because you feel like you need the money. Accept it because you think you can do it.
No, I agree. I agree. And hey, if you need money, go get a job. I don't know how hard it is in Australia to get a job right now. I don't know your health, but like if you're really hurting for money, don't do this. All right, that's just dangerous waiting to happen. Throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks. Exactly. But yeah, like a lot of this first bit here is just her talking about the commission itself, asking for details, not getting details. Awesome. Okay, cool. Then a lot of this stuff is again the same stuff. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so that we can show. We've seen some of this already. This time, so Vox actually shows some of the project like stuff here, some of the assets that they were looking at. I don't know if this was I assume this is something that she was already working on. She blocked out the model, probably a good idea because we don't know what the new model looks like, I'm pretty sure. After receiving the first list, I got started and began creating assets based on the concept they provided me. I had not been paid yet, but Ayumi being a returning customer... Okay, so Ayumi is a returning customer. That's good to know. I had full trust that she would make good on her end. And with the time frame being between receiving information and the deadline shrinking, I was keen to make a head start. During the early stages of sending in progress shots, Ayumi expressed how much she liked the work I was being presented with small tweaks and requested. So yeah, she's just showing, hey, here's this. What does it look like? Thank you. You know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so she is showing off actual, like, bits and pieces here of the work. So, thank you for that. I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't look bad. I would assume that's probably like a Twitch panel. That doesn't look horrible. So, I don't know. If that were a finished product, I don't know. It's just me. And she's talking about, so in here she's talking about how they want more stuff. And yeah, there's just, here, I'm gonna zoom out now. There's more stuff here. And they expressed, a lot of this, again, is the same conversation, expressed concerns over the banner, saying it would cost too much, and again, we already went through all that. We're just gonna zoom down through some of this here, and yep, this is the same stuff we've gone through. Sorry, chat. Again, I skimmed through a lot of these, and I'm just making sure that I hit stuff that I have not said yet. So a lot of this is still some of the same stuff. And again, she mentions that she thought in September she would receive the document. If you didn't receive it, you shouldn't have worked on it. Okay, so this is the final list I had to work with. It was more detailed, however, I had to ask for a few clarifications. I was still requested to provide the YouTube banner. The deadline, however, was not written clearly, and instead of May 21st, it had been written as shown above.
Which is how they showed it. I don't know why you're trying to...
I feel like that... Okay. Are you only reading the first sentence, ma'am? And the second one. Are you only reading the first two sentences? Because right below it, it says, debut date. I would assume, maybe I'm just stupid. I would assume...
Well, here's my thing. I can agree. They should have made it clear. However, it's the difference. It's so simple. It's the difference between making it for a 3rd grade reading level to a 2nd grade reading level. You should not have needed that much clarification in order to understand what was being said here.
And she even says as much. She says, as such, I had overlooked this section and only thought of the end of May to be the deadline. What the fuck, man? Right here, the debut date is the 17th. Am I to assume that these assets that they're saying they want for the debut aren't going to be used in the debut? You're fucking with me here. I'm confused here. Like, either you intentionally missed this, or I don't know.
All the parts of a document like this to skim over, the part you don't skim over is stuff like deadline.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, oh, you know, I skimmed it, so all I saw was end of May. Why did you skim the part that said deadline and only had 3 sentences?
Yeah. 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 I don't really
like, no matter what I think about either side, I cannot defend them on this. There's no world in which I can read this and be like, yeah, I'm on your side on this. They messed up with that deadline.
No. No. This is one of the... Oh, that's mean, Miguel. Come on. That's not nice.
Is our chat ever really nice?
No. No. So, as a result, I ended up missing the deadline, but was not made aware until 5 days past the date. You should have already known if you had read. Again, I would be confused. Like, if I said all this, and then it was, like, the 25th, and I'm like, oh, a commission I was waiting for was supposed to be done by now. Where is it? So, I would be confused. I have also not been informed Ayumi had pushed back her debut and had no idea of any ill feelings, as there was little such communication that even feedback was reduced to a checkmark or reaction or silence. I was not informed of any of it. Shouldn't need it to be. Again, this is the deadline here. You don't need to be told of a pushback to a debut. This is the deadline that it will be done by. And she says here, I had only received the following communications. This is the day before the deadline. Now, once did they mention anything about it being due the next day?
But that's not their job.
It's not their job.
You're supposed to have this acknowledged yourself.
It's not my job. That's not your job. If I have to get a paper done by a certain amount of time, it's not my professor's job to tell me it's worth.
Yeah, he's just gonna show up the next day and be like, so where's your paper?
He's gonna be like, you get an F. You get an F. Now get out of my class. F. You fail. Alright. Do not contact me again until 5 days later. That is their fault. They should have contacted you the day after. Maybe even the day of and said, where is it? No, day after. Day after if I don't see anything. Where is it? I'm waiting for it. Come on now. So I would say that's probably their fault, but like, still. Like, where, I don't know. And then she's like, my manager failed to ensure everything was on schedule. It's not their job. It's not their job. Image no sensor due to DMCA. Oh, interesting. Wait, did she receive a DMCA? Interesting.
I don't know, someone had it on the Wayback Machine with the link exposed, but Wayback's been getting DDoS, so I'm gonna have to look for that later.
If you look for it, it's well, okay, I am assuming that this link right here, excuse me, based off of what this is all of this link is the entirety of the stream assets. So if you get that link, we're not gonna show them on stream.
I mean, I have the link, but because of the website getting DDoS, some pages aren't working. So we're gonna have to... I'm probably gonna check it, like, every so often to see if I can get it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, at this point, it really doesn't matter, but, like... I don't know. That's kind of funny,
I'd like to see everything, not just whatever the hell they want to show.
I think she's confusing manager with mommy. Maybe. I don't know. I reported about her pushback. Her pushback debuted with a deadline and had no idea what happened as they never communicated with me. Again, that is not their job. It's not their job. After being notified of the missed deadline, I would spend the next 19 hours finalizing the commission, hoping to make up for the missed date and get Ayumi the files ASAP, as I was assured her they would be done that weekend. Next morning, I would finish the work of the commission and promptly informed Ayumi and Eve that I was ready to send the files once I'd received the final payment. It was a standard practice most artists go by. Sure, but that's not what you agreed to. You agreed to have the files there on the assigned date, and then you would be paid on June 1st. It doesn't matter if that's standard practice. That's not what you agreed to. I can point up on the doc where you agreed to, and that's not what you agreed to.
Yeah, that's a serious problem and part of their argument. It just annoys me, like, deeply that they're trying to pull that. Like, oh, well, you know, normally standard practice would say you don't get the commission until I've already paid you. Well, it's a returning client who, regardless of what we feel about the manager and how the manager acted, it's both of your managers. So you don't have the excuse that, like, this is a completely random person that you don't trust. Supposedly, this is somebody that has made good on their payments before and is under the same management you are. So I don't understand why you're having such an issue with this.
I don't know.
You should be perfectly fine trusting them.
I don't know either.
There are artists that have no reason to trust me, and they have trusted me to pay them like weeks after something was done, and still gave me the stuff. My
artist Ari, like, even though I try to pay him for all this stuff as soon as I can, I'll tell him, like, hey, I know you started this, I paid you half, don't finish it until I can finish paying you the rest, because I need to focus on some other things. And, like, Ari trusts me, because I've built a rapport with him. But, like...
Yeah.
Like... I get the feeling, because, again, Vox is like, oh, I don't release things until I'm paid. And it is probably due to how she is feeling at the point, because before all of this stuff, she's already being snippy with them. So I am assuming that she's being snippy and saying, I'm not going to release this till I get paid, because she wants to already run. I have the feeling that she's already planning on not talking to them after she gets paid, and she can dump the assets.
Which, I mean, it's fine to, like, blacklist them in the future if these are just people you really don't want to work with and you genuinely felt like this was a shitty experience. But you have to finish what you've already agreed to.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Like, this is how any other business would do it. They're like, fine, we're going to get them their stuff, we're going to get them out the door, and then we're just not going to let them back in the door.
Or...
You have to get them their stuff.
Or, and here's one that I always find this kind of funny. In contract work, when you have to build things for people, if you don't get paid and they refuse to pay you, guess what the contractors do? They reclaim the stuff that they built. typically by destroying it. I don't know how illegal that is, but I would assume that, like, if you refuse to pay somebody for the work that they did, they can reclaim the work that they did. So, like, I don't know.
I would not
Side
take that
tangent.
into your own hands, chat.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
Typically doesn't work out well.
Yeah, I just feel like there are ways to circumvent you not getting paid. Either you, they just don't get the work and you reclaim the time paid, or whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna go on. And here she's talking about how Eve kept going on even after Ayumi paid, and then she sends a thing, again, censored link. I think that's funny. After sending the files, I waited for Yumi's feedback, and Eve told me her silence meant she was happy. Awesome. That's not true, though. That's not true, though, because you left the group. You left the group, though. In the previous doc, she left the group like a couple hours after sending it.
No, she left it before sending it.
Oh, that's right.
Remember,
that's
she
right.
said, I will send it in the morning. I'm very tired right now. And then just immediately left group.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. So it's not like she couldn't give you any feedback because you left the group. And the manager was the contact that apparently knitted you guys together, which I think is stupid. Renovations and construction cannot be reclaimed by destruction. That's illegal. Well, there you go. Don't listen to me, chat.
Yeah, that's why I was telling them, chat.
Yeah, it's probably it can probably be reclaimed in some other way where the person who requested it cannot have access to it.
You have to go to court.
Yeah.
And then the court likely won't let you reclaim it unless the person has absolutely no money. They'll just, like, worst case, they'll garnish the guy's wages.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Anyway, I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying there are ways to remedy if you get scammed by the person who's trying to pay you. And this is not how you do it right, because it opens you up to liability. But she's saying that I didn't get any feedback, so I assume they were happy. Yeah, there's no feedback because they couldn't talk to you. How are they supposed to reach out to you? And then Ayumi, like, sends all of this, and says, I was informed there were problems with the assets and was asked for refunds. This took me back because they hadn't provided feedback at all that would imply they were unhappy until this point. Probably because you dumped the rest of the assets without waiting to see if they were acceptable, and then ran. That's not good. Oh, okay. So these are commissioned assets. I also provided Ayumi and Eve with the PSD files to edits as they requested. Oh, so these are some pictures of the assets here. Okay. So we'll just scroll through here, through some of these. I mean, these aren't bad. These aren't bad. I think these are decent looking here. Chat, you can point out if you see any big issues with the assets here.
I'll be honest, I'm not in the mood to, like, trash somebody's perspective on what they think of art.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these just feel like badly inconsistent.
Oh, you think so?
Granted, that's not what they were complaining about when they complained about them, but I think their taste in art is bizarre. I don't think a lot of this works together. It's very clashy.
Well, not to be. They are a VR streamer.
I mean, it's like they didn't do the individual pieces of art with this, obviously. It's like they provided the artwork, like, you know, fucking Klein provided the artwork. They just did the backgrounds for it. So it's like, if you go up to the panels, I think it's the panels. Yeah, that. Those are obviously not art done by Vox. That is done by someone else.
No, the art's not my complaint. The weird gray tones with the neon.
I mean, that's what they requested.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they didn't get the art they requested. I'm saying their taste in art is bizarre, and these just in general don't look very good.
I mean, she did what she was requested to do via the color references and everything.
Yes,
yeah.
This is, I'm saying on a complete side tangent.
Yeah, this is a side tangent. The only asset she did not receive was panel 4. Okay, you're admitting here what you didn't send then. That's why I don't know why you would admit that. That's bad. For her sudden actions, I had every intended to provide revisions and organize Panel 4. Unfortunately, I no longer felt we could continue in a healthy manner. I no longer felt comfortable working for her or with Eve. As such, I decided to end the service there as outlined in my TOS. My TOS in which she agreed to both in discussions and via PayPal. That's not how that works.
But ignoring the Panel 4 thing, if you agreed to take on a job and included revisions as part of the job, you are still required to provide revisions. So it's not just I didn't provide them Panel 4, you also didn't provide them revisions, which is a part of the job.
Yes. You agreed to it.
Yeah.
If it's part of if revisions are part of your TOS, then you broke your own TOS again.
Again, it's this really weird mindset of because it's my business, I get the final say in everything. But as soon as you start letting people pay for that business, you don't get to just decide whatever. There are certain rules you have to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just not following any of them, and it annoys me.
It is very annoying, yes. Pricing. This is talking about pricing, pretty much. Cool. We've already gone through all of the pricing here, so we're going to scroll past all of this here. Awesome. This is talking about how the references were like... Okay, so this is giving inspiration for other asset... Hang on a moment. None of these look like what... Okay. I know that these are supposed to be inspirations, but I don't see the inspiration here. Am I just stupid? Because I don't see it at all. I don't know. Communication during this commission was extremely lacking. I agree on both ends. From Ayumi, who barely spoke to me at all. I agree. I think that she should not have used the manager for this. But I think that's dumb. Excuse me. Okay, yeah. So yeah, these are the assets here, chat. Cool. I don't think we have to open up a PSD or a file for this. These are the assets here that she is showing. Cool.
No, there'll be more assets later, I
yeah.
think.
Well, I think there are more.
Yeah.
But yeah, more assets. Approving the assets. Cool. So, okay. In the recent revisions document, Ayumi expressed satisfaction towards the model reveal graphic. However, Ayumi never sent me the second image shown below. She never told me when I had initially shown her the graphic, even when they had also asked me to send it to them. I was never informed about the information presented below during any of these discussions, and other documents or lists provided never said VTuber Showcase. Instead, it was listed as a model reveal graphic. If that's true, then Ayumi probably should have done better when it comes to sending all that, but still, you could have asked for more clarification, or just like, I don't know. Like, at this point, I don't know how much more I could say about that.
These are things you should be asking for, basically. If you're confused about something, don't just assume they know you're confused and will send you clarification later. Send them something like, I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah. And we're gonna use these anyways? Yeah, exactly. Had Ayumi asked me to fix these issues during the commission phase, I would have done so, but she didn't. I had such small feedback to work with. I was left in the dark about how dissatisfied she was. During the discussions, they told me I needed to communicate, but I had made my knees during the commission since September. I communicated. I had chased them multiple times. I had expressed a few times that I wished for more communication from Ayumi and Eve, which she shows. And that's all of her screenshots about that stuff. Now she goes on to talking about the manager. So this is basically a side quest just talking about the manager and her experiences with the manager. I don't know why she included it in here, but she did, so we're going to skim through it. I met Eve.
Also, again, chat, we will clarify, the manager kind of sucks.
Yes.
Like, this is not like a full-throated defense of, they're such a good manager and such a good VTuber. No, they made a ton of mistakes, and to a degree, they are the architects of their own downfall, in a way. It's just, it is very difficult to side with Vox when they are acting in the way that they are, and doing stuff that is very clearly not okay.
Chat. Yeah, chat. Let me... Can I just say...
While you talk about the fun stuff that you don't like about the manager, I really need to go pee.
You go to the bathroom, yes. Chat, I really don't like this manager. Eve, if you're listening here, quit what you're doing because you're doing a shitty job at it, alright? One of the reasons why I don't like this manager is they like to shit fling just as much as I don't even think I was looking through this. I don't think Ayumi did as much as this. Like the most egregious thing I have seen here. All right, we're gonna zoom in here for you, chat. This is a bingo sheet. This is a bingo card of the Vox doc. Excuse me. All right. Eve decided to make a bingo card of the Vox doc, and then mark all of this here. Wait. Why would you do that? Why the fuck would you do that? I haven't seen any other, like chat. Waiting in the wings one day, I have a stream on horrible VTuber managers, alright? And I will actually bring our manager on during that stream. He's already tentatively agreed to that. This is not what you should be doing as a VTuber manager, alright? Disparaging a previous client of yours in this way is not what you should be doing here, alright? You should not be making a bingo card showing off all of the things that you like to joke. Like, okay, listen, if you have genuine grievances with a client, cool. Don't do this. Because guess what? If I was a potential client, I would look at this and say, man, Evelyn, Eve, they will disparage me if I cross them wrong. Man, I don't really want a manager like that. I don't want a manager that can like make fun of me like this. I need a manager to build me up and help me get brand deals and help me do all of this random stuff that I can't really do. I would never, ever do this. Yeah?
So Eve has her LinkedIn linked to her card.
Bad idea. Archive that.
She's 22 years old and started a self-employed talent management thing in 2020.
So she's been managing for a couple years. Ever since she turned 18.
Hold on here, I'll throw the LinkedIn
Cool.
and shooting the shit.
Is it revealing of like names and shit? Here, I have the screen hidden, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I have to actually like log into LinkedIn. Lovely. Huh?
No, you don't.
No?
No, you don't. I'm not logged in.
Well,
I'm
then
doing her
why
page
is it-
right now.
Why is it not letting me see it? It's not letting me see it. It doesn't matter too much to me. In my personal opinion, I didn't really plan to bring up the LinkedIn anyway, so it's fine. Was VTubing a thing back then? VTubing's been a thing for a while.
I'm just because in Vox's thing, it says that she claims that she allegedly worked for cover, but no, it's nowhere on her LinkedIn page.
It's not on her LinkedIn.
She worked for the black company Aurora Live
Yes.
VR though.
Yeah, I was gonna actually bring that up. Okay, so chat, let me so this here, chat, if you want to know who...
If she's claiming she worked for cover, she might say it's something like, well, she told it to me in DMs. Well, then you're gonna have to show that.
Yeah, because that is a pretty big claim that I don't believe, Evelyn. I don't believe you at all saying that here. Especially since some of the so these are some of the testimonials of things on Evelyn's Wix site here. So these are some of the VTubers that have given testimonials here. I don't know this one here. They worked with Evelyn for a couple of months as a motion graphic designer. So Evelyn's also, by the way, they're an artist or motion graphic designer. Cool. I don't really know anything about her. I don't care. Awesome. There's another indie VTuber. Let's see. What was this person? Founder of Nagi Lab. What is Nagi Lab?
I don't know, but I don't want to say that too many times in a row.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This is an indie VTuber. Single most professional individual I've ever met. Really? I disagree based off of just one tweet I just looked at. Holy cow. Future Legends talent agency. Never heard of this talent agency before. That doesn't mean it's not good. That just means I've never heard of it before. Cool. Another VTuber, Kayina Kakabana. Corporate VTuber. Never heard of this VTuber before. It says they're a corporate VTuber. Hold on a moment.
Okay, I'm looking at the talent manager for the Future Legends and Star Road company, and she was also unit manager at Aurora Live.
Yes, well, we're gonna scroll down here. She was in Aurora Live chat.
She was with Aurora Live for 3 months, a social media manager for Star Road for 2 months, Future Legends 6 months.
Very little time.
For 3 years. Motion graphic animator for whatever lab for 1 year, 3 months. So, besides being self-employed, hasn't lasted very long, really officially anywhere.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna like speculate, but why are you lasting so little time in these areas here? Like, if these are at the, like, okay, well, Aurora Live, I kind of get it. Not a good company. I think, Lumi, you've talked at length about how bad Aurora is, but like,
they hired a 13, 14-year-old who was no fee, who was...
That's right.
16 with, yeah, I know of Aurora Live VR.
Yeah. So, just saying, Eve, not the best place to put on your not the best place in my personal opinion. I don't know why you would have the gumption to put that on there. I don't get it, but it's up to you. What I'm trying to say is, Eve, in my personal opinion, not the best manager in the world. I would not hire them. I don't know. They seem very unprofessional, in my personal opinion. What was the story with that agency? Let me just mention it, but yeah, I don't understand. I don't know. Anyway, moving back to the document here. I just wanted to make that side tangent because Vox mentioned the manager. I wanted to show all that stuff. So she says here that they were allegedly a cover corp. Cool. show the proof, I guess. Or shut up. And she talks about her time spent with Eve here. So this is some stuff that we're gonna... Now, we are running about 3 hours here, chat, so we're not gonna be on this too much longer, but we're just gonna spend a little bit of time going through the manager stuff here. Contracts. So this is her own contract. Material breach of contract shall include, but are not limited to, failure of the manager to provide services agreed upon in a professional, diligent manner, breach of a healthy and respectable work environment clause outlined in Section 4. You know what? You should have just posted the contract. I already posted all this other stuff. I want to see the contract so I could, like, dissect that myself. Eve breached her own contract by failing to provide the service that was paying them monthly for a lack of care and consideration, especially during the commission with Ayumi. Okay. Overall, poor
I would say that while this is super interesting for us, if I was to give Vox like advice in the future when trying to make these documents, none of this actually helps your case with the Ayumi thing.
No, I don't think so.
This solely makes things more interesting for people like us that like to eat drama all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh wow, like all this stuff about Eve, like this is really saucy.
Yeah,
but
it is.
To anyone who's actually trying to get on your side, you're not helping.
No, yeah, for 100%. Like, this is interesting for me, especially since I eventually want to cover VTuber managers. So Eve's going in my folder, but this is not helping you at all. This honestly makes you sound a little bit more vindictive. Whose manager was this again? This was both of their managers. Although she did attempt to terminate the contract, she signed back with Eve in November of 2023. Excuse me. Let's see here. During the initial discussion, Eve outlined to me the services that they would provide. Scope of services. All right, scope of services. Develop and implement individualized strategies to maximize talent's visibility, primarily on social media, on an as-needed consultation basis, advising the talent on personal and professional matters that may impact the talent's career, providing guidance and support to the talent with respect to any legal business matters, assisting the talent with creation, distribution of merchandise, maintaining the email account. Okay, so a lot of these things are things that are pretty standard with the managers. A lot of these things I would, for the most part, agree with. That in a professional setting, a lot of this is what a manager would do.
VTubers, stop paying for managers if your managers aren't doing anything. I genuinely don't know why so many people are like, I need a manager. I don't stream at all, but I need a manager.
Same manager? Yes. The manager we're talking about was a manager for both of them at the time. Both of them were managed by this person at the time, which just makes it even more stupid. However, throughout my time in Eve's service, barely any of these were fulfilled, and in the first 2 months, I often had to seek outside help for things I would eventually ask Eve, and received no help. Then I would not have paid her. Why the fuck are you paying Eve if they're not giving you like, okay. This lends more to my credence that Eve shouldn't be a manager, because if Eve can't give you feedback or help, see, like, if I go to Paco for a question, guess what? He knows the answers. You wanna know why I know he knows the answers? He's managed multiple successful people before. Multiple successful people. Alright? So I know he knows the answer. And, like, Eve is not a good manager. I'm gonna say that right now. Eve doesn't, like, if Eve knew, you wouldn't be going to somewhere else. I don't know why you decided to continue paying them. That was a stupid mistake on your part. Such as help with OBS setup, questions regarding YouTube, and her not bothering to respond to people I forwarded our email. Okay. Yeah, again, although with the OBS setup, YouTube exists for a reason. I don't know what questions you specifically had. I don't know if a manager should. That's something that honestly the VTuber should have. And that is kind of confusing to me because I looked. Hypavox has been streaming for quite a few years. I think it's at least 2, maybe 3 years. Because I looked, I wanted to look through their tags just to see how old their tags are. They've been streaming for a while, so I don't know what OBS help they need, but you should have YouTubed that shit. Eve is more like an assistant. Yes, I agree. So here's some pictures of her asking for help. I informed Eve during our onboarding what I wanted of the partnership. Help keeping on track and on task through reminders and planning so I wouldn't forget things. That's not the manager's job. But okay. Help running a safeguarded email to keep me and my information safe and send out well-written emails. That is something that they can help with.
A little bit on the manager. Manager should probably be giving you reminders. I think this is more of, in that specifically, it's more of a both of them should be doing it sort of thing. You should keep track of your own schedule, but it is kind of on the manager to remind you that you have a schedule.
Oh yeah, well,
I mean, I know I would need that fucking assistance because I keep telling myself, okay, post a regular schedule like a normal person so people actually show up to your shit. I haven't posted an actual stream schedule in almost a year.
Same.
I stopped posting one. I stopped posting one because my what I play is mostly the same for right now.
I stopped posting because we're not gonna post it.
It's fair. I mean, I post mine on YouTube. That's about it. Anyway, off topic. Checking stats and analytics.
I will defend them on that. Managers should probably be involved in that, at least a little bit.
A little bit. No, yeah, I'm willing to agree with that. At least a little bit. Checking stats and analytics and going over how to improve them. Yes, managers should be doing that. Paco does that with me. Hold meetings either weekly or monthly to have discussions, despite informing Eve of my needs that were consistently forgotten and neglected. Why did you pay them? Why did you pay them? You're stupid. I'm glad you're not paying them now, but why? My goodness. When meetings were scheduled, Eve made no effort to reach out and remind me despite requests. During one meeting, Eve herself would be a no-show, but took time to notify Ayumi, so she could not make it that day. I was left waiting for both of them while reaching out to Ayumi. Meeting was scheduled to be on the 17th, but Eve would not respond until the 18th. I felt neglected as she took time for one client, but not the other. Yeah, that is kind of shitty.
But again, this is a thing, like, while I agree, Eve should be reminding you, you should also be remembering. So this is more of a, well, we both kind of suck thing.
I agree.
And you really, in the future, Vox, you need to get a handle on this whole, I don't have any control over my own schedule kind of thing. Like, this is not good for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she says, every time I missed a meeting, I took responsibility. And this is one of the screenshots from earlier. And, excuse me. And then eventually it looks like she wanted to end the partnership here. Let me zoom in. If you need something, it's okay to message me directly. I'd rather not. Okay. Let's see here. Where did she start saying it? For nothing from Twitter, so I'm assuming there's not much can be done about getting my account back at this point. Also, what's happening with the Ayumi commissions? Have you guys decided on a meeting day yet? Say this is back in March, where she's at talking about this. Regretfully, I'd like to give a 30-day notice to end our contract. Feel like I haven't really gotten as much out of the service as I would have liked, and realistically, I can't afford to spend so much without any sort of payoff. I hope you understand. Okay, cool. So she's saying I don't want to pay for this anymore. Awesome.
Man, how much does Evelyn charge?
I don't know.
My God.
Does it
You
mention?
might have to get like a private quote. A lot of people do it that way.
Yes. I know a couple managers that do give public quotes, and they're stupidly expensive. Again, don't pay for the chat. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you are an indie, you do not need a manager. You should be managing your stuff on your own. If you can't manage on your own, you need help. But not a manager's help. You need help. Managers are for serious players in groups that help out with merch, that help you look at analytics, and help you understand things, alright? They should not be there to hold your hand if you are an indie, alright? It is not cost effective, and most of the time you're losing money. I'll be honest with you, I have not seen a VTuber that is an indie that is as small as Vox is say that a manager has helped them. Alright? I have not seen it. And if they say it, they're lying or just don't realize they're being scammed. Even I would hold a voice meeting to discuss it, and then Eve would ask me to explain my reasoning. I told them I felt dissatisfied. Awesome. Eve would agree and apologize. He never mentioned that they have let down Ayumi too. Well, Ayumi hasn't mentioned that. In fact, Ayumi and her seem to be very chummy. During this call, Eve suggested an unpaid trial period until the end of April to prove that they would improve and do better. I agreed and hope for the best. Unfortunately, things remained the same. Well, you didn't pay her, so I wouldn't expect much anyway. I reached out again, second time confirming I wanted to leave the service. Cool. More just saying that I wanted to read the service. Eve would have then informed me they'd allegedly be working on a growth strategy, but had never informed me about it. Probably should do that. Eve requested I should wait until the end of April to present the file to me. Just leave. Just leave. Alright? Yeah, I don't know. Just leave. This doesn't work. Alright?
It's so weird you're obsessed with like hanging on to these people that you have such an issue with.
Pretty much. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm scrolling down here. Yeah, just more talking about all of this stuff. The biggest red flag to me was when Eve when Eve attempted to change our contracts. Let's see here. The end of April is 9 days away, and I feel not much has changed since our last discussion. I understand you've been working on a strategy, but I had no idea about this until now, so my end was radio silent. I don't usually provide updates for stuff unless I finished it. If it's a client, you should probably tell them what you're gonna do. That's your that's your problem with Vox, that they're like providing not enough. So why aren't you giving her enough? I don't know. I don't like that really. It's just more how she's dissatisfied with the manager. But yeah.
Which again, thank you for posting all of this, because this is hilarious for all of us.
Oh yeah.
But not helping your case.
It is not helping your case whatsoever.
This is not telling us why you did not refund or finish work for a client.
Yeah. She was
this
a flat.
Me and my manager don't like each other. Congrats.
Yeah.
In real life, me and my manager don't like each other.
Yeah, like this doesn't help the fact that you're trying to convey that Ayumi is trying to take your money away. All this conveys is that Eve sucks. Awesome, I know that. Eve sucks. I get that. Cool, I agree with you. This doesn't convince me though. Did you deserve your money back? Because it doesn't. She was a flat rate plus 10% of monthly revenue. Yoth, are you talking about Eve? And if so, how do you know that? I don't know. Maybe you have it open. If you could provide where you know that, that'd be cool. The day after ending our service, Eve would reach out to me and attempt to get me to sign a legal agreement, a silence agreement. Oh my goodness. Termination of the original agreement, acknowledgement of fulfilled services, validity and continuation of original provisions, confidentiality. Upon reading this agreement, I felt more red flags. They wanted me to agree that no mistreatment or mismanagement occurred, and they promptly silenced me from ever speaking up. You can't really do that. Excuse me. I
I
learned
would like
this.
to see how exactly they have silenced you from ever speaking up.
Yeah, it says here in confidentiality, all communications, correspondence, and assets exchanged between parties from the date of the original agreement are strictly confidential. I'm assuming that probably means strategies that were discussed from Eve and Vox about how to grow. Like, sure, like, if it's copywritten strategies that you've written, sure, maybe, I guess. But, like, that's gonna be hard to... Like, if you want to take Vox to court saying that they shared around strategies, oh, that's gonna be hard to prove when there's so many VTuber or just streamer strategies online. I don't know.
I mean, it's like looking at this... I think it has the same legal standing as an artist TOS if there's no lawyer present.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
So, like, can't really take you to court if nothing has been exclusively signed and a lawyer was present.
No, I agree.
Might have even less standing than a TOS, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially since it sounds like she didn't sign it.
Yeah. Like, somebody would have to... It's one of those things, right? So, by the way, chat, if you ever get, like, a contract from a business, and the contract just randomly has a line in it that says, by the way, you're not allowed to share this contract with anybody, that line is literally worthless because you have not agreed to the contract.
No, I agree.
You can't give somebody something and then tell you, by the way, by me giving this to you, you have agreed to parts of it. It's not how that works.
Pretty much. What do you mean Vox is bad? She's a silly noodle. I'm not saying that Vox... Like, I don't think Vox is a really bad person. I think that she's...
Vox did something incredibly stupid.
Yes. And, yeah. I can't really say anything more about that.
That's about the extent of it. Like,
just both are stupid.
We're not saying she's a bad person. We're saying she's done something incredibly stupid, and part of that seems to come from the idea that she has listened to other artists telling her TOS is gospel, when your TOS is not gospel.
No. But I do like, again, that Vox decided not to sign this contract. Great. Hate to be that person, but I have to sleep. Don't worry, we are almost done. We're almost at the bottom of this. We're skimming through more of this than the other because a lot of the same stuff is in this one. I'm referring to Eve. I'm a mod for Vox. Oh, okay. Thank you, Yoth. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm assuming that she told you that then. I appreciate that. But I do think it's smart of Vox not to sign this. You should never sign anything like this because that's dumb. Alright? If Eve is really that concerned about this, she shouldn't have, like... I don't know. I think Eve's a horrible manager. So,
I mean, Eve doesn't last very long, really, in any official capacity anywhere.
No.
If people want to see her experience, just go to her card. Her LinkedIn is right there.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much, like, Vox, good that you didn't sign all that. Good that you didn't align with that manager. That manager sucks. The only power TOS has is the artist will probably turn you away in the future if you break it. I'm not gonna say yes to that. There's probably... You will?
The only power a TOS has is stuff that's included in it that you already had a, like, natural legal right to. Sometimes you can get extra stuff included in there. But really the only things you can for sure have in a TOS is stuff like, is it commercial? Do you have full ownership? Things like that. And even then it depends.
I agree. It's like
that's something we talked about this with video game TOSs before, because a lot of you have to sign like a TOS before you play any online game.
I was about to say that.
Typically, courts will only uphold parts of those that the company already had a legal right to do, like being able to ban you from playing the game. Courts typically uphold that part of the TOS, not because it's in the TOS, but because they already have a right to do that. It didn't need to be in the TOS.
I agree. I 100% agree. Oh, Lumi, is this Ghost Archive the LinkedIn?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. I don't have it open here, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, the gist of the situation. Good night. All right, good night, Michelle.
Have a good sleepy.
But that's like, oh, this is an important. Okay, I feel like this is important to share. So here Vox claims that Ayumi shared her private email that is not open to the public. All right, that's not good. She probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, Ayumi, that's probably not a good look for you to dox somebody's email like that.
Especially if first last name is attached to it, if it's like a personal email.
I think it's a business email.
If it's a VTuber email, I'm gonna say no.
No, you would say no?
If it's a VTuber email, I'm gonna say, yeah, maybe it's a private email, but you're using it for business contacts. If it gets leaked, that's kind of just something you expect to happen.
No, I agree. I'm here to judge. I'm only here to see that people are... No, yeah, I would say both people made mistakes in this, all right? Like I agree that Ayumi, major dickhead, to put it bluntly, that they waited so long to start this commission and not send anything. I do think Vox needs to set more reminders on their phone if they want to make sure that things get done. I think that there were many times that she should have paid more attention to things, and I think she ran off before actually finishing things. So I don't know. We're basically at the conclusion here. I don't really feel like there's much more to say about that. I don't know. What do you two think?
No, I think that's about it. Like we said before, and my opinion really hasn't changed. This is definitely kind of an everybody sucks here situation. The only reason I push more into I personally think Vox sucks more is because Vox is trying to just keep all of the money and run with it, when I don't think that's either legally enforceable or morally the right thing to do.
It's like, I think my one piece of advice to Vox is just at least refund half of it, block both of them, and don't speak to them again.
I agree. I think that the conclusion that Vox puts here, I do think that probably should be finished. I think that both parties should, like, without Eve, by the way, do not include Eve in this, but if both Ayumi and Vox want to actually come together and get these revisions done to the point where it's usable, it should happen, alright? That would be the best case scenario. And then both of you never talk to each other again. Like that.
Yeah, like... One way or another, it's better for you in the long run to just bite the bullet on this, and you get to choose. You're in a position where you get to choose which bullet you want to bite. Do you want to finish everything, or would you prefer to refund the money?
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to bite one of those bullets.
Because it looks like PayPal might side with her.
It doesn't help exactly when they already clarified that they won't be using any of the assets, so what's the point?
Yeah, but if she finishes it, you're basically just in the clear on that, because then they would be breaking the contract from their side.
Yeah, it's like at that point, I would just, like, you know, put something in MS Paint for that fourth panel, say they're finished. But I'm
you do have to make a a good faith effort to do it of quality.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that
people have actually tested that specifically in court with art. If the court feels it is beneath your level of quality, then you can get called out for it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, just
no. It's like, I think this would have gone a little smoother if Evelyn was not part of this.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
I'm gonna be honest.
There's no point to the middleman. I don't understand why you guys had to involve a middleman.
To be fair, I think that was because of Ayumi. My only way I can see this is both of them were like, okay, we can do this because technically she is our manager. I still don't like. It's like if me and Lumi decided to get a commission together. I don't need to ask Panda Dad Paco here to for permission to get this done. We're just gonna do it. All right. We don't need to have his permission to get it done. So there's no reason for you to use the manager for this. Vox has reached out to Ayumi to resolve. I hope it happens. I really hope it does. Like, legitimately, just finish it. Get it done. Take that money. Never talk to them again. Alright? I'm glad that there you go. There you go. We got the mod in chat giving us the update there. I hope that there is a good resolution here.
I think the unfortunate part is, regardless of how it ends, the damage is kind of done for all sides. Eve has been seen by multiple people looking exceptionally unprofessional and bad at communication, so that has damaged their business.
It has.
Vox has come off looking as very malicious and unable to finish work on time, so that's going to damage their business. And Ayumi hasn't even debuted yet, and they're already like mired in controversy, so that's gonna end up damaging their reputation. So everybody just kind of got fucked in this.
Yes.
Ayumi or whatever her name is, was just debuting a live 2D. She's already a Twitch partner and stuff.
Oh.
No, yeah, this is a 2.0 model. Regardless, I think that it's stupid. An absolutely massive, stupid thing to do. Like, going public with this, I mean, cool for me. I get to report on this. But not cool for you. Not cool that you have to go through all of this. That you have to, like, tarnish your reputation, tarnish somebody else's reputation. And I know that Vox could have definitely handled this better. Alright? It doesn't mean that you had to do this. Okay? Like, this is a shit way to have this handled. On both ends, on all three ends, alright? I don't know.
Everybody did dumb.
Yeah, but yeah, I hope if things do get worked out, they say, hey, yeah, shit's chill now, and then deletes the fucking documents, because keeping those up will, it's like, I know there is at least one archive of each document. But other than that, you don't really need to like keep that shit up if it gets like, you know, resolved.
No, yeah.
Delete them.
All you have to do is just like have both of you come out and say, hey, we talked it out, we got it fixed. Nobody needs to worry about this anymore. Alright? Like that's it. Get it solved. You're done. You're done. Oh man. But that's it.
I think we got everything. I'm ready to sleep and then watch the world burn tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Oh, what's tomorrow? A certain somebody is doing a press conference from the results of today.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that on here.
Yeah, we don't talk about politics. We don't care about those. We don't care about those.
That's for me for later.
Chat, politics are cringing gay.
Yes, and
politics are cringing gay. Yeah.
As I said on Twitter chat, it doesn't matter. I think it's all funny, and I think it's all going to be a big clown show.
Yes. You get to watch the establishment burn.
Should we note that Eve has come out has since come out dragging the recommendation given by Aurora.
Oh, I seen it.
Really?
Again, this is kind of
I posted it on Shooting the Shit.
Again, chat, this is kind of a thing where it's just like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's still fucking funny.
Yeah, for us, it's funny. But for actually defending Vox, none of the stuff with Eve actually helps her.
No.
All she's shown is that Eve kind of sucks as a person, regardless. But that's not helping her argument of, oh, well, I didn't provide stuff, and I refused to provide stuff, and I refused this. Like, no. Need a little more than that.
He's voting for Tomoe. Exactly, all three of us are voting for the horse girl.
Are you kidding me? I'd never do that. I'm writing in my own name.
Yeah.
You don't want to vote for Umari?
No, I'm gonna vote for myself.
I don't know. I feel like Umari is the change we need.
I'm the change we need. Do you know how good I would run this country as its dictator?
You do have the bigotry baton with you. Anyway,
Exactly.
with that, chat. With that,
I clean up the streets in an afternoon.
There we go. You bring.
Is that where this should have gotten to? This was unnecessary escalation. Yeah, I agree with you.
I agree.
It's like, granted, 99.9% of call-out docs that come out should be kept personal.
That said, please keep making them because I love reading them.
Oh yeah, it keeps our show going.
Yeah, yeah, we're fine with it. We don't care. It's just depressing. Well, it's better to say like, it's content, but it doesn't mean it's not like depressing to look at. Like I don't get joy seeing people say that, oh shit, I might lose $1,000 for something I worked hard on. I don't get joy seeing a guy get cracked up on cocaine and neglect his kids. I don't get joy from a lot of the things I do, but I cover it because it's funny. And then I get depressed later. And then I get better because it's time to laugh at more shit on the internet. All right?
Yeah.
So keep your shit offline if you want. But if you decide not to, we're going to talk about it and laugh about it. All right? That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but it's also funny seeing some people, some certain people crawl out of the sewer and try to demonize one person, then take the side of another person.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, can I just say, by the way, trying to associate somebody's politics with how they are as a person, during one instance of their character, not the best thing to do. All right, I try not to associate people's politics with how I look at them as a person. I know it's very easy to do. That's a shitty thing to do. All right. And I think that was a poor observation by said people when they were trying to vilify Vox as a person. Vote potato.
Vote potato. All right. I think I am done here because I got some cooking to do, and then I am going to go pass the fuck out.
All right. Chat, we have a good outro song for you tonight. We're going to be playing the Stuff Mart rap from VeggieTales if you are interested in that. We'll be back maybe tomorrow with whatever we decide.
I mean, I'm playing Smite 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see what we're going to do. Other than that, chat, I'm done. You guys are done?
Yes.
I'm probably going to be playing Smite 2 with Lumi.
You guys have a good night. Bye.